All right. What is going on, everybody? And welcome on into another episode of the Cinema Lords podcast. Episode number 8, and it marks the first time in this show's history that I am here without my partner in crime, Mr. Los. He is. We wish him the best of luck. He's out there training for his new job out in Pennsylvania this week. But the show must go on without him. We got a lot to dive into today. We're going to be continuing our recaps for She-Hulk, Rings of Power, House of the Dragon. We're also going to be talking about Don't Worry, Darling, because as you guys know, I was very excited and went to go see that this weekend. And then we got a couple of new trailers dropped on us too, so we're going to be diving into that as well. So lots to do, but before we start getting into everything, let's introduce who we're going to be talking to today. On the ones and twos, filling in for Mr. Los. You guys know him well. He's already been on the ones and twos once before. He's been on this side of the table with me a few times, but he's back and better than ever. Mr. Rogers, how we doing, buddy?
Good to be back. Thanks for having me again. We got Los out on the field this week doing some field work, trying to get some behind the scenes on the latest upcoming movies. So Los, keep doing your thing out on the field, and I'll hold it down here in the meantime.
Yeah, hey, we couldn't be here without you today. You know what I mean? Someone's got to make the ship go. So, and then making his second episode, second appearance on the podcast. Did a great job in his first one. Got a lot of good reviews. A lot of people were saying that might have been our best episode.
Wow.
So let's see if we can make the magic again. But Mr. Adam Ledoux, what's going on, bud?
Not too much. Good to be back.
Happy to have
Hopefully,
you.
hopefully we get another banger here. So
Lots to talk about. Good episode of Rings of Power again this week. We haven't talked to you since after the first two episodes there.
yeah, so we've got some catching up to do.
We sure do. Before we get into that, I'm going to start off by just saying that I know I told you guys last week that we were going to be trying to finish up our Cobra Kai recaps this whole week. We only ended up dropping part 2. We dropped that on Friday. For those of you guys that are interested in that, me and Los decided to hold off a week, so we're going to be finishing that recap hopefully this weekend. I think he's going to be back in town on Saturday, so I think we're going to try to get together sometime on Saturday and record that third part for Cobra Kai. But then, in addition to this week's episode, we also going to be back with you guys on Friday morning. We're going to record on Thursday nights the recap for the first 3 parts of Andor. So lots going to be happening this week. Might be coming with you for 3 episodes this week. Who knows? But like I said, that's the reason why we started this time of year, was because we had all these shows dropped on us and we wanted to cover them. And it's a lot of work, but we're covering them. You know what I mean?
Action-packed right now. Very busy season.
You ain't kidding. But let's start with today's topics. I say we got to start with Don't Worry, Darling, no? Me and Seth were able to go check it out on Friday night, opening night. Obviously, we talked about it a little bit on prior episodes, but the movie has been, filled with chaos in this entire marketing lead up to the movie. Just drama. Florence Pugh not talking to the director. Olivia Wilde, the director, and Harry Styles, who's her lead actor in the movie, basically making out and stuff like that on scene and on set. A lot of drama surrounding this movie. The critic scores early on came in wicked low, just bashing the hell out of it. So I know we were excited to go see it. Me and Seth probably for a little bit of different reasons. No, I know you were hoping for a big dumpster fire.
Yeah, it wasn't it. It was funny because I either wanted like a good movie, decent movie, or just an absolute train wreck.
Yep.
And the reason why I hated it so much was because I feel like there was just enough there to make it one of the two.
Yeah.
But it just didn't do any of it.
It basically fell right in the middle of what you wanted.
Yeah, and I either needed one or the other, and it pissed me off more that it didn't do one or the other. Like I said, there was just enough there to make it a decent movie, just enough there to make it a train wreck. But it was right in the middle. I wanted one or the other, didn't get it. Didn't like the movie. I'm out.
Yeah, as soon as we walked out of the theater, my first thoughts were that was a movie. It was an average movie. It wasn't awful. It wasn't amazing. I wasn't going to go run out, and tell all my friends, hey, you got to go check it out. But to me, it had more good than it did bad. I came out, I gave it like a 7.1. I kind of stand right around that score. That's C-.
Generous.
Yeah, I mean, some people might call it generous. I thought it was fine. I liked it. I mean, I would say I liked it more than I didn't like it. I was entertained throughout. I mean, there was a lot that was, like I said, there was a lot that was good about it. There were some problems. Harry Styles was definitely one of the issues.
You did some acting lessons, dog.
Yeah, he wasn't great in it. But one of the weird things that I kept seeing in a bunch of reviews and a bunch of just critics and stuff like that was they were talking about his accent in the movie. But in the movie, they go and they make you known that he is in fact in the movie British. So I'm like, well, what the hell are we talking about the accent then? He's a British actor.
How did he land that Because he's not. This is his first acting gig, right?
For the most part, yeah. He actually appeared in. He's in the MCU already. He appeared at the end credit scene for Eternals, so he's going to be popping into that world.
I guess that makes sense.
But yeah, no, he's new to the whole acting scene.
Thanos' son, right?
He's Thanos' brother.
Brother,
Yeah.
Thanos' brother.
Yeah. He's supposedly like a big people like that read the comics. Like they love him. Like you get a lot of fans in the comic world. But yeah, like you said, first time really, in a big role, and he definitely needed some help acting. But I never really was like totally taken out of any part of the movie by him either. You know what I mean? There were parts where I was like, okay, that wasn't great, but like I wasn't like taken out of the movie by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. I mean, his acting wasn't good, but it was towards the very bottom of the list of my concerns for the movie. I was liking it at first too. Like I don't know if we want to get too much into it, but it was starting to feel like Get Out a lot. You know, the other person that was starting to catch on to what was going on. It reminded me a lot of Get Out. So I was into it at first, but then the deeper it got, and once the end result ended up happening, it felt very flat for me. But yeah, Harry Styles, like I said, his acting was like at the bottom of the list for me.
The ending wasn't great. The twist ending wasn't superb, especially just because it's something that we've seen now in movies quite a few times.
Lazy.
It's something that we've already seen now quite a few times. But Florence Pugh, I thought, absolutely, carried the movie like she always does. She was awesome. And the other thing as soon as I came out of it, I was like, the fucking movie, like from the sets, the costumes, it looked fucking awesome. You felt like you were in the 50s. It felt like you were in. You know what it reminded me of was WandaVision.
Yeah,
the early episodes of WandaVision, the perfect little 50s utopia.
Yeah,
everyone's got their little white picket fences. Yeah. All the women waving to their husbands at the exact same time every single morning as they all pull out of work at the exact same time. It was very funny.
Yeah,
it was. It definitely was a little creepy. You know what I mean? Had that little thriller aspect to it, but all in all, it could have been better. But it definitely, to me, wasn't like a total miss. It's something I'll watch it maybe once again once it comes out. But other than that,
worth going to see in theaters.
If you're a movie goer, then sure, go check it out. Because like I said, it wasn't like an awful movie. If it's something that you're going to go out of your way because you're not normally, then I would say just wait for it to come out. You know what I mean?
We'll see.
I wouldn't even wait for it to come out. Just don't waste your time.
Yeah?
Just don't see it at all.
I see. I feel like that's harsh. Depends. I mean, it depends on how many movies you watch too. That's the kind of the same thing as I go into the movies itself. If you're watching constantly at home and you're consuming a lot, if you're one of those kind of people that, they're like, all right, I'm going to watch this one movie this week. I got to make sure it's a good one. Then this is probably, like Seth said, one to skip out on. But
okay.
Like I said, I definitely enjoyed it more than I didn't. 7.1. That's my score.
I feel like that's a good score.
Right. Like if you give a 7.1.
Like I said, I consider that like a C-. You know what I mean? And they say in school, like C is an average. So I put
C's get degrees, baby.
That's right. I put this just below. I definitely look at it more of a C- than I would a D+. I don't know. Like I said, Florence Pugh was amazing. I actually liked Olivia Wilde's character too. I thought
she's pretty decent.
I thought she did a good job. Another huge nicotine addict, just ripping butts the whole movie, which I thought was very funny. Every time she's on screen, ripping a cigarette.
You know what it is too a lot is now that you say it, like the men acting was the worst of it. Like Chris Pine's character stunk.
Yeah, so my problem wasn't Chris Pine though. That was his. I agree.
Right.
I totally agree.
It's just more of how they did it.
Wasn't his acting? It was more his character.
They could have done more with it. They could have built it up like more of like a real cult leader vibe, and they kind of they didn't do enough with them. He wasn't on screen enough. They didn't do enough to really make him that bad guy villain. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a big Chris Pine fan. So
I like him too.
I would have been disappointed to hear that. He blew it.
Wasn't like his actual performance.
Yeah. Okay. The result of his character that was not a good payoff. Like his character was not good.
Yeah, no, they could have done more. You know what I mean with him and made it a better role. The other thing too, actually, is we're talking about Harry Styles. That role was supposedly was originally for like Shia LaBeouf, and one of the first things I said as soon as we walked out was I was like, all right, I said Harry Styles wasn't good in the movie. But that would have been such a weird role, in my opinion, for Shia LaBeouf to take. And I am like a fucking lieutenant in the Shia LaBeouf Stand Army. I love Shia LaBeouf. I would stand him. I think he's amazing. But like this role was kind of like, say, like more of like a sensitive, kind of like a bitchy role. And I was like, I can't see like Shia ain't about that.
I'd have to see it to really say, I like Shia.
I love Shia.
I'm a Shia fan.
as we walked out, Seth actually said, I could have seen Shia playing the Chris Pine role, which is the antagonist, kind of the leader role. And I said, that would have been awesome.
He's a little crazy. So,
exactly.
Yeah, he would have fit the role pretty well.
I feel like he would have killed that.
Out there, you know?
I think they should have made Shia LaBeouf's character, I think, would have been more kind of like psychotic. Versus Harry Styles was much more just bitchy.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
You know what I mean? I think they would have tweaked his character a little bit if it was Shia.
Yeah. But all in all, not a bad movie, like I said, but very forgettable. Nothing I'd run home to go tell my friends about. But still, not the dumpster fire that some people said it was going to be. All in all, pretty average movie. From there, let's go into a couple of trailers we got real quick. Let's dive into some trailers. We got The Amsterdam, the last trailer, coming October 7th. 1930s, supposedly remotely based on some true events, but 3 friends basically witness a murder. They end up becoming suspects themselves, and then it says that they uncover one of the most outrageous plots in American history. The cast, fucking unbelievable.
I got it up here right now, absolutely loaded.
Run through it. Go ahead.
Christian Bale, Margaret Robbie, John David Washington, Chris Rock, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zoe Saldana, Mike Myers, Timothy Olyphant, Taylor Swift, Rami Malek, Robert De Niro. And that's with me leaving out like 4 or 5 names on the poster.
That is unbelievable.
And it's the director who did American Hustle.
The Fighter.
With Christian Bale.
Yep.
And The Fighter with Christian Bale.
Yep.
And he did
One of
Silver
my
Linings
favorites.
Playbooks with Robert De Niro.
Yep.
So the director's got some track records on working with these actors.
3 movies that I love, but I mean, Silver Lining Playbooks is literally right up there in like my all-time top favorite movies.
It's the one with McConaughey, right?
No, it's Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay, that's what it is.
One of my favorites, especially kind of getting to that time of year, a little bit colder, but fall, like football season. There's a lot of football, like in the movie, kind of. You know what I mean? Like his dad is Robert De Niro. He's a bookkeeper.
Okay.
So there's they're huge Eagle fans. The movie takes place in Philadelphia, so there's a lot of football mixed into the movie and stuff. But, family movie kind of thing. It's a good movie. Love it.
He doesn't play in the movie, right? Like McConaughey doesn't play football.
No. Bradley Cooper's actually kind of he's a nut job in the movie, actually, but he does a great job. One of my favorites. But same director, like Seth said. Trailer looks pretty freaking cool. I mean, the trailer hooked me. I mean, it looks like a good time, which is my kind of movie. Christian Bale looks like he's playing that kooky kind of guy, which I feel like he does great. Almost kind of like how he is in The Fighter, sort of.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of kooky, you know what I mean? Got that kooky look in his... Actually, at one point in the trailer, he's straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean. He's like the guy that loses his eyeball and it's like rolling on the floor. I guess Christian Bale in the movie only has one eye. The other one's a fake one. And sure enough, he gets like knocked out.
What's the other one? He plays a guy with a glass eye.
Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Isn't
I don't
he
know.
in the... what's the one with... Jesus... Ryan Reynolds is in it. It's about the stock market crash.
Oh,
I can't think of this name right now.
Yes, The Big Short?
Yeah, The Big Short. That's what it is. Yeah.
That was a good movie, but that's one that you need to fucking pay attention and almost get your textbook out and your notepad and to follow. Because that one's not, that's not one that's like, they're not very helpful for the audience. You know what I mean?
They are in some ways, though. They do that weird, like, they cut to, like, Anthony Bourdain in the kitchen saying, like, you know what I mean?
That was funny.
A couple times. And they do it with, I think, Margot Robbie's in that, too.
Yep.
So, I, explained it a little bit, which was nice.
I did watch that when that came out. But what'd you guys think of this trailer? This one looked like a fucking pretty crazy one.
Yeah, just like I said, it just looks like an awesome time, and the track record that the director has with some of the actors in this movie, and they're not just like good actors. They're some of my, like Christian Bale, probably one of my favorite actors. Robert De Niro. You can film Robert De Niro like taking a shit, and I would watch the movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in on Robert De Niro, no matter what it is.
Mike Myers got to be the weirdest one, right?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, what the fuck is
Timothy
he
Olyphant too? Like, he's probably going to be he seems like the villain kind of, which I feel like is more of his role.
Yeah, I like it when he's like that too.
Yeah, the track record's there, and the trailer looks awesome, costumes and all that. So
yeah, looking forward to that one. Did you see the trailer for that one?
I have seen the trailer. I think it'll be a good little pairing, him and Bale and Chris Rock.
Yeah.
We totally didn't even say Chris Rock in that whole spiel, which is wild.
Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't even mention so many guys in it, man. I can't think of I don't know if either one of you guys actually know his name, but the dude from 8 Mile actually that's dating Eminem's mom, like, and he ends up kicking his ass and stuff. Yeah, he's in a lot.
Is he General Zod too?
Yeah,
Superman.
Yeah. I can't think of his name, but he's in it too. But that's already October 7th. That's coming up. That's like
next Friday.
Next Friday?
Yeah.
Oh wow, Jesus, man. There's so many things I want to see, which is why I was saying to you, Tomorrow might be a big day for me, folks. I've been talking about it for a long time. I put it out there a lot, but tomorrow I might finally be journeying into the movie theaters by my lonesome for the first time ever to go see a movie by myself.
Can't believe it'll be your first time.
Might be. Woman King, 11:30 sounds prime.
One of my favorite pastimes, honestly.
But there's so much playing. Smile comes out on Friday. I still want to see Pearl.
No way I'm seeing that.
Oh man,
not a chance.
Too scary for you.
Saw the first 15 seconds of the trailer at IMAX. I was like, I'm good on that movie.
I love a good horror movie, especially this time of year.
We saw it again this weekend, seeing Don't Worry, Darling. And the same scene scared the shit out of me again. I jumped twice.
I'm out.
That's one I can already tell I'm going to be laughing the whole time through. I can just tell. The It movies, stuff that's like creepy like that, I end up just almost laughing the whole time. Next trailer that I really want to talk about just for a couple minutes that I've already mentioned a few times. I'm very excited for one of my favorite video games of all time. One of the best stories of any media, whether it's a book, a TV show, a movie, a video game. The Last of Us dropped their first official teaser, not a full trailer, but about a minute and a half of footage from the show that's coming 2023 to HBO. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, both people who you guys would know from Game of Thrones, and obviously Pedro Pascal, The Mandalorian. Nick Offerman as well. Storm Reed, who is Rue's little sister in Euphoria. And then, I can never think of her real name, but Rose from 2.5 Men also popped in the trailer as well. But this looks awesome. I haven't seen, obviously, anything beside this, and I was already so excited, but this got me so much more excited, man. I've never seen anything look... Every single scene that's in that trailer, I can tell you for a fact, is straight from the game.
Really?
Yes.
Haven't played the game, and I can't lie to you, didn't do my homework, didn't watch the trailer.
Missed this one?
I missed the trailer. I saw the little sneak peek, what they dropped 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah,
There was a little
15 seconds. I think it was before Thrones.
I'm intrigued because I like
Pedro
Pascal.
Doesn't miss.
Exactly. I agree. And like I said, I've never played the games, but something I could see myself getting into, after watching this or just in general.
Like I tell you, dude, one of the best just storytelling of all time. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And the guy that is one of the head lead writers for the game actually directs 2 of the episodes for this series. Okay. He's a lead writer for the show. Which, I feel like so many times they've put out these video game movies or shows and people constantly complain, why did you change so much? You know what I mean? Just, make something similar to the game because the game's already good enough to get...
People know what's going on when you do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like people appreciate it a little bit more,
But this looks fucking mint. The clickers are basically it's a zombie apocalypse thing, but zombies that in this basically zombies that last for a long time because it's gonna be a big flash forward. We don't really see much of the outbreak in the game, at least. We kind of go say 15 years, I think, into the outbreak.
Okay.
So things are kind of almost more settled. You know what I mean? The people that are alive have their little establishments. Right. But the zombies that live for a long time, they call them clickers.
And that was that little in the trailer. Sound at the end.
Dude, those things, man,
they awesome.
Just terrify you. They look awesome, and that sound, they nailed the sound because it's one of those things when you're in the game, you're just creeping around, you know what I mean? You're searching for stuff, and then you hear that, and you're like, fuck, all right, it's time to run, you know what I mean? Fight or flight kind of thing, you know what I mean? What am I going to do? But they nailed it in the trailer. It looks sick.
There's what, 2 of those games out now?
There's 2 of them, yeah. Yep. Second one was still good, not nearly as good as the first one, but... And I read something that basically said that HBO executives are fucking, thrilled
with how it's looking,
with how this show is looking.
HBO just pumps out heat.
They think that they're going to be back in this thing big time. They're saying that this is going to be a fucking monster. So I could not possibly be more excited. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about before we get into our, I'm going to do my recommendations before we dive into our recaps. But the last thing happened about 2 hours ago. Ryan Reynolds, ladies and gentlemen, dropped an absolute nuclear fucking bomb on us. On his social media page, we didn't get anything at D23 about Deadpool, but Ryan Reynolds, with a little drop of his own, drops a video, kind of starts talking up, hey, every movie got to be special. We got to do something big for Deadpool 3. Joining the MCU now. I got no ideas. Got one idea. And who fucking comes in? Hugh Jackman. Wolverine is going to be back, and it's Hugh Jackman in the MCU, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's fucking go.
I love it.
I mean, let's fucking go is right. We knew the X-Men were coming. It was just a matter of time. And obviously, I think we were all kind of expecting who was going to be casted as Wolverine because Hugh Jackman nailed the role so good. They bring him back. They just say, fuck it, let's run it again.
Yeah, run the classics back. You got to figure, too, in this one, I don't know if it's one scene or the whole movie, but you got to figure he's going to throw on that classic yellow Wolverine suit, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We haven't seen it yet. Even if they do it as a joke, you know how Deadpool is.
The yellow and blue, you said?
Yeah, the classic X-Men. You got to figure he throws that on at least for a scene or two in this one, right?
I don't know when it'll be. That's something that, well, it depends, you know. If it really is just for one ride, then I agree with you. It'll be in this. If they end up convincing them to do more, they end up trying to convince them to stay in the role for a little bit longer, who knows? Maybe they save it for like a bigger, you know what I mean? A bigger movie, kind of like a team-up boss fight kind of a thing. Who knows?
You should be welcome back for that role anytime he damn well pleases.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's a matter of how old is he now? He's got to be getting up there, though, right? He's got to be like mid-50s or something like that. Yeah, pull that up. I mean, I don't think he's 60 yet, but he's been around for a long time.
Hugh's been putting that work in.
He's been
putting that work in for sure.
And he still, yeah, exactly. He still looks like he can pull it
he's still
off.
shredded up. He's ready to go.
He's
probably been waiting on the call.
Wow, he's like 53.
All right, so we get a little bit of time.
I would have bet the over on that one.
Yeah, I think so too.
Plenty of rubber left on that tire.
But I mean, how fucking awesome was that? Like I said, I was so disappointed with D23. We didn't get much from it, and now just out of nowhere, just a drop from the clouds. 3 hours before we hop in the studio, and Ryan Reynolds, hey guys, Wolverine's back. And they gave us a date. What was it? 9/6/2024.
Yeah, September.
A little less than 2 years, but these
that
things,
kind of upset me. I saw that and I was like, oh damn, like 2024.
I thought you were gonna say 2023. Maybe.
It comes and goes fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the only
it's true.
movie that felt like it took forever was fucking Dune. I felt like I was waiting 17 years for that damn movie. Now Dune 2 is already right around the corner, man. Only a year.
I can't
year
wait.
away,
Can't
baby.
wait for
Oh
Dune
my
2.
lord.
Can't wait for the Batman too, but
Jesus
that's for
Christ.
another day.
Come on,
I
yeah, that's
think.
for another day. We have too many shows to recap. That's for a rainy day. When we got nothing.
And
to
you're a
recap.
2v1 right now, so tough matchup.
That's why he doesn't want to do it. Yeah.
So before we dive into our recaps, real quick, I'm gonna bang out my 2 recommendations for you guys. Before we kick in the real Halloween season, I got 2 kind of different ones. One of them I watched yesterday. Banged it out in one part, one sit down. Couldn't help myself. Just came out on Netflix. 3-part. It's called The Real Bling Ring. It's like the documentary true telling of the bling. I don't know if you guys remember the Bling Ring movie that came out with Emma Watson and stuff. But basically, it's about a couple of teenagers. 2009, they live in the Beverly Hills area, high end California.
Yep.
And they just on a whim just kind of start going on a damn burglary spree.
Really?
They broke into Paris Hilton's house multiple times, Orlando Bloom's house. Oh man, there was a couple of other ones too. Lindsay Lohan's house. But they just, friggin' just started small kind of thing. They were just hitting like the nice high end areas like that, and
Right.
just pulling car doors and kind of stuff like that. Seeing if people would leave wallets, because they're saying all these rich people, they're in their their nice private areas.
Gated
They don't
communities.
think
Yeah, they don't
They
give a
don't think
shit.
anyone's gonna be going into their car and checking their shit or whatever.
Right.
So it was like there was so many times where they were just like bang, easy, bang, easy, bang, easy.
So
And then,
crazy.
slowly enough, they're like, all right, let's elevate, you know what I mean? Let's go to the next level. Next thing you know, they said they broke into Paris Hilton's house like 5 or 6 times before she finally realized that someone had broken in. They like cleared out the whole house, basically.
Well, I can imagine some of those people aren't home half the year too.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
true,
mean?
too.
Go
Yeah.
in,
So like July House or something. Like
yeah,
that. Just like a month
yeah,
house.
just a month house goes in there next year, finds a bunch of stuff missing. I mean,
Yeah.
can you imagine just saying, yeah, we're gonna go rob
Orlando
Brady-
Bloom.
yeah, Brady or
And like I said,
something.
this is 2009, so a lot of these people, this is kind of like their peak of fame, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so-
Paris Hilton's sex tape had just dropped. Orlando
He must have been
Bloom
rich
was-
as fuck from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates, The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legolas,
true.
that too. I mean, he just did. They was talking. They showed a couple clips from Troy, which is one of my favorites.
2009
Haven't
is
seen that in a while.
prime Orlando Bloom time.
Yeah. And then obviously, like even Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan just she was in her peak.
Mean
from
Girls,
post
yeah.
Mean Girls. She was kind of doing her bad girl thing in Hollywood. But this was good. They got like one of the main kids. It was a guy and a girl that started. They were like 17 when they started. But they got the guy on to do like the whole documentary, and he was just like, oh yeah, he basically at the end you would find out that he was the one that kind of told the cops everything because he was going to be facing some serious fucking jail time.
Right.
So yeah, he was like, I already came clean a bunch of times. Well, I was like, I ain't got nothing to hide. Like,
Right.
Netflix wants to give me some money, and he just kind of
Yeah, why
laid
not?
out everything. It was really fun watch.
Really?
It's like 3 50-minute episodes. Like I said, I watched it in one sitting. I started it, and I was just like, yep.
Yeah, those are always nice.
Yeah, Netflix does a great job with
Yeah.
their documentary shit. But that one, it just came out. I saw the trailer for it. I had nothing really to toss on. I dove into it, and I was like, hell yeah, that was awesome.
I'll definitely throw it on the list.
Yeah, check it out. And then the second recommendation is actually what I'm going to dive into right after this because the newest episode is out. 6 episodes out as of today. 6th one came out today on Hulu. The Patient. Good little series. Steve Carell. Basically, he's playing a therapist. He takes on this new patient, kind of this kooky dude, you know what I mean? Seems like he's a bit of an oddball. And turns out he's going to be a lot more than just a regular little oddball. He's going to kidnap Stephen Carell and basically like hold him hostage in his house because he like is going to try to get full-blown therapy. He basically turns out he's a serial killer, killed a bunch of people, and he wants to stop. And he said, like, the regular therapy, like an hour every week, it ain't doing it for me. I need a more advanced fucking, basically a plan.
Yeah. Taking matters into his own hands,
So,
basically.
Yeah, he's going to kidnap Stephen Carell, his therapist, and basically now Stephen Carell's hostage, scared for his life, but he also has to basically play therapist still for this fucking kooky guy.
Yeah, so he's doing a little balancing.
So,
Is this like a serious role? Is Steve Carell's character?
Yeah. No, it's more of it's a serious thing. And honestly, Stephen Carell's doing a really, really good job in it. I'm really, I would say he's the lead, but he's the best. He's doing a great job. I'm really, like you said, I get what you're saying.
He's just one of those guys to be like, it's nothing against him. No matter what he does, you'll always be Michael Scott. Or like whatever, 40-year-old virgin, like goof kind of guy. So it's got to be tough to pull off a serious role. But
yeah, no, he really looks the role. He's got the full gray gruff. He's all gray. He's got the little sweater, the glasses. He totally plays the role. He does a good job with it. The kooky kid is good. The only thing that I had to complain about it so far, honestly, is that the episodes are only like 25 minutes, and it's only one a week. So far to this point, it's like every time the episode ends, I'm like, Jesus, that was it. Like, I want more. You know what I mean?
You want a little more.
So I feel like telling people now you get like 6 episodes, which I feel like is going to have to be at least the majority of the series. You can kind of go all and watch it in one big thing.
Yeah, one big...
Might not even be a bad idea to wait for it to fully end in a couple weeks and just fucking watch it almost as one big movie.
Yeah, just
you know what I mean?
binge watch it real quick.
Yeah, because it is very entertaining. Like, it always, every week kind of ends with something, you know what I mean? Like a little cliffhanger. So you always want more, and they're short episodes, like I said, so you're not getting too much.
Right.
But very entertaining. Like I said, I'm going to be diving in because that's on. It's on tonight, on Tuesday. So that's on Hulu. 6 episodes. Go check it out. Good watch. With that said, let's dive into our recaps. Just like last week, actually, if not even more so, we're gonna be starting with She-Hulk. But just like last week, this was a huge stinker of an episode for me. I think it was. I said last week. I thought last week's was the worst of the season. This is now what I think is the worst of the season.
yeah, you're starting to piss me off, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
You really are. Like we were doing what I thought the first 4 episodes were good. We had some momentum. Even the last one, there wasn't a whole lot going on, but the Daredevil helmet, you were like, oh shit. This is like 2 episodes in a row and just nothing happening. And this is what I was talking about with I don't like doing those like 11 episode seasons if they're like 3-4 episodes of throwaways. Like it's 2 in a row now. We gotta get back on track here with this show big time.
Could not possibly agree more. It feels like when you're this far in the season, it's like, what are we doing?
Why now?
Exactly. It's like this shit. If we were gonna do it, should have been like episode 2. You know what I mean? Jen goes to a wedding in episode 2, but
yeah, I'd rather see the stuff with Abomination happen
later on
right now.
I agree.
Versus
even just the structure of the season, because like you said, those first 4 episodes were really strong. I was really enjoying it, and now these last 2 weeks, have been the 2 shortest episodes. They have both, for whatever reason, just spontaneously stopped doing end credit scenes. So there's no end credit scenes, even just for a little lighthearted chuckle at the end, even if the episode's not that good. You know what I mean? The Madison and Wonga's episode, perfect example.
Yeah.
Was it a great episode? No, but
even this one too. We'll get into the episode, but you could do a post-credit scene from like the wedding.
Or
something
absolutely.
Like that.
It just seems like these 2 episodes have been lazy to me. Like they just there's no story progression. I feel like they haven't even been as funny as the first couple of episodes.
It's like they were told that they could do more episodes in the season, and they were like, "Oh, fuck!
All right, fine.
We got 3 more episodes we can
in.
do. Like, what do we do?"
Yeah. But we'll fly through it. Like I said, I really don't have many thoughts on it at all. Nothing the story didn't progress at all. There wasn't not even that many jokes. Usually I have a bunch of jokes written down that I really like throughout the episode. I don't even got much there. But we open up, we find out Jen is going to be a bridesmaid. She's going to some girl's wedding. She got a new dress, which she does. We were talking about it last week. We didn't know if this guy's name was going to be Luke or the Drip Broker. Unfortunately, we're going with Luke, which is a terrible mistake. The Drip Broker, way better name. But regardless, she got a new dress from Luke that she's looking to spot at this wedding. And basically, we open up with a 4th wall break, basically saying exactly what me and Seth just said. She goes basically like self-contained episode about a wedding at a weird time in the season. She goes exactly, and I'm just like, that's. At least you're self-aware, I guess. You know what I mean? It's
almost makes it worse.
It does.
We're going to tell you we're just filling in an episode here.
No shit. Exactly. It's almost like if you really don't love the show, you can turn it off now and just skip this one. But we go to the actual wedding, not the wedding, but the pre-ceremonies, the days before, the lead up, the party and stuff like that. People are coming in. And right away, she shows up as She-Hulk for the first time, looking to kind of crave that She-Hulk attention. She's finally got all eyes on her. She's got this new dress that's built for her to rock as the She-Hulk. And basically she finds out that her groomsman isn't there yet. Everyone else's groomsmen's arrived, but hers isn't there yet. And then she also finds out from the bride, she's the bride, this is her day. That's the whole thing about being in your wedding. It's your day. She's like, you can't be here as She-Hulk. You're stealing all the attention. Everyone's looking at you. You know what I mean? So Jen, unfortunately, has to go to the wedding as Jen. A little disappointing for her. But again, nothing really to take away is even jokes or laughter. I was just kind of like, all right. Like I said, the self-awareness thing at the fourth wall break. It was just like, okay, I guess so. We go to Nikki and Amelia, which that's going to be our B storyline this week. Not even as good as last week's B storyline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The drip broker thing was at least funny last week. I enjoyed it.
F storyline.
Yeah. Nikki and Amelia are going to be dealing with this guy, Mr. Immortal, which I guess was kind of funny. I didn't not laugh at it, but basically this client has...
I did not laugh at it. That's where we are with this episode. Yeah, I did not laugh at it. Nice.
They take on this guy, Mr. Immortal, who has rung up a whole bunch of charges basically because he's been married like 15 times because rather than having an awkward conversation with any of these wives he's collected, he just basically kills himself because he can't die. Pretty funny. Nikki and Amelia basically start kind of passing judgment on him, and what does the guy do? He does exactly what he's done to all of his wives, and like a missile just shoots himself out of the window from like the 80th story into fucking traffic, which was pretty funny, I'm not going to lie.
Laughed.
Yeah, one of the only times, you know what I mean? But it was just a weak episode, man. I did find that kind of funny, though, especially just like it was like the Family Guy gif. He literally just straight like goes numb in the air and just missiles himself out the window.
Definitely all wanted to do it at some point, too. just jump out the window of any story building.
No shit. Waiting in the doctor's office for 2 hours. We go back to the wedding, and who shows up but Titania, who I thought we were done with after last week.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I thought we were done with her. She was suing us, okay, you know what I mean? Thought she was done. Nope, she's here at the wedding. Great. Jen tries to tell the bride, basically, what's up? She's just here to, sabotage Jen. The bride's like, yeah, right, dude, you sound self-obsessed. She's just here for my wedding. She's mad. She's with, one of my cousins or some shit like that. So Jen's like, all right, fine, don't believe me. She goes outside, meets this new dude. And basically, the dude's into Jen for the first time in the whole show. Everyone's always obsessed with She-Hulk. This guy actually seems like he likes her, which might be suspect since we know people are looking into her and trying to get her blood and shit. So that could be maybe a little guy in disguise. You know what I mean?
I'll take something. Take whatever I can get out of this episode.
Yeah, no shit. But basically, as things are kind of going off with this dude, things are going good. The bride comes over and basically asks Jen to play maid and start fucking cleaning up. She's like, hey, can you help me clean up? We lost some of the cleaning crew because I was mean to them. So can you help me? And just kind of interrupts the nice little moment that Jen's finally having. But I was just like, Jesus, this girl's not very nice to Jen. Why the hell did you even ask her to be a bridesmaid? Why are we here? Because we needed a filler episode? Got it.
Yes, I didn't say yes to answer your question.
We go back to Mr. Immortal with Nikki and Amelia. They had basically brought in all of this dude's ex-wives, a whole army of them. And actually one dude. So apparently he swung the opposite way for him and went for the other team. But basically they're all saying their side of the story. Turns out this guy's just faked his identity countless times. Every time he dies, he starts up a new, fake ID. This is obviously fraud. The guy could easily be in jail, but luckily to not be. Tries to get out of the situation again in his typical fashion, but the girls are onto it this time. They stop him. And basically they just have to settle each one of these cases individually with all these people, which I guess was kind of funny. This person got a 15-second apologize. It was you have to apologize for 15 seconds and you have to mean it. But that was basically for the most part their entire thing. They come back one time, but it was just a useless B storyline, I guess. Back at the wedding is kind of where we're gonna spend now the rest of our episode. We find out that Jess is walking in. Her groomsman is a dog who looks like it just got run over by a car. Its eyes are going 2 different ways. Its tongue's hanging out of its mouth. It looks like it's about to die.
Cool.
Yeah, again. Cool.
Funny.
Again, I guess kind of funny. I laughed. But again, it's just kind of fuck. This is all you guys. This is the hook you come. This is the shit you bring.
Slapstick humor.
Yeah,
It's just,
for real.
That wasn't good.
She also now she's just fresh off her cleaning duty. She gets put on ironing duty now. She gets asked to iron all the shirts for the guys because their collars are all messed up. People are just walking all over Jen in this episode, which is weird. But we go to a little cash bar. Well, we think it's going to be open bar. Jen orders a drink. Turns out cash bar. Fuck. Nothing worse than getting to a wedding, going up and fucking cash bar. Come on, really, man? I already gave you a card with a bunch of money in it, and I have to pay for all of my drinks now? But Jen starts getting loose, ties a bow on. She's doing some dancing. Reminded me of my girl, Steph, because as soon as she gets 2 drinks in her, she cannot stop dancing. She's just wiggling all over the fucking place. I don't know if it's just a tiny white girl thing or what, but definitely Reminded me of my girl, made me laugh, I guess. But at one point she was drunk dialing Bruce. That was kind of funny. Again, slapstick humor, but just like, all right, that was funny. What do you do? Drunk dialing Bruce, where you at? Then the guy that she was talking with outside comes over. They're having a nice little moment. And what happens? Too much booze. She has to go outside to puke. Who interrupts her? Titania hits her with a little kick. Says, hey, it's time to fight. Jen can't. She's a little too drunk at first. She's trying to turn into She-Hulk, and she can't quite get her powers to come out, which is kind of funny, I guess. She only had 3 drinks, but she's already fucking on her ass. She's a tiny girl, after all. Doesn't have that She-Hulk metabolism, you know what I mean?
Not even close.
But she ends up pulling it together. They have a quick little fight in front of the wedding, the whole party there. Basically kicks Titania's ass, messes up her teeth, knocks out a bunch of her teeth. Titania walks off with a cake. Just like, Jesus, okay. Sure, she's taking the cake. Hysterical. But the bride, who at first, asked Jen not to show up as She-Hulk, now She-Hulk's there. She just obviously stole a lot of the shine. Plays the hand well. Oh my God, She-Hulk at something. She-Hulk's at my wedding. I love you. You know what I mean? Good playoff. And then we go to the closing scene of the episode, which I can't believe this episode had nothing in it. Like I said, I know there was nothing to discuss. There's nothing to talk about. But Amelia and Nikki are basically kind of just celebrating that their case is over with Mr. Immortal. They're having some drinks in the office. And they come across a website. Basically all just like hate mail, just basically plans to take out She-Hulk, to kill her, death threats. Bunch of just crazy friggin' Looney Tunes online trying to take her out. And Amelia's like, hey, don't tell fucking Jen about this shit. She's just going to stop freaking out all the time. You know what I mean? So Nikki's like, yeah, sure, no problem. I promise. I won't tell her. And, of course, what do? They flash to the next scene. She's in her car. She's calling Jen. She's leaving a voicemail telling her exactly what they found. And then we see Jen just chilling at the wedding with that dude. They're eating. But it turns out that someone is, in fact, watching her. She's got some eyes in the sky. Who, we don't know yet. But I guess we're going to hopefully find out soon. Maybe not. Who knows?
So hopefully we get something happens.
For
next
real.
Episode is all I'm looking for.
Like you mentioned earlier, we got Daredevil's mask at the end of last week's episode, which was the big savior for the episode. And then what do we get? Absolutely nothing this week. No Daredevil, no nothing. No mention of him. No sight of him. Just a total letdown.
Big wet fart of an episode.
Big wet fart. By far and away. The worst episode of this.
And it's like, I don't want to get to it, but remember how like WandaVision was?
Oh
Loki,
my God.
Like they were all, every episode was captivating, meaningful.
Feels so long ago.
It's just like Moon Knight, now this. It's just like we're falling off the track a little bit. Like we got to get back on track with these shows. They're just too many meaningless episodes.
We don't even know what the next one is either, too, which is probably a good thing. Take some time off. You guys have been pumping these things out like crazy. Take a little time.
Yeah, take a breath.
breather.
Take a breath.
Yeah. Let's do Black Panther right. We have Ant-Man coming up. We have some banging movies coming. Let's slow down the shows a little bit and make them a little bit better, for Christ's sakes. Because
make Marvel great again.
My God, man. I'm still not out on it. I'll still be there to, Thursday for the next episode. But we're getting to the end of this season now. We only got 3 episodes left. We have no villain, no story, no nothing. You know what I mean? Disappointment.
Big waste of time.
Disappointment. Let's get into the good stuff.
Let's get into the good stuff.
Let's get into the good stuff. Rings of Power this week, episode 5. We're into the second half of the season. We had a banger of an episode last week. Big episode 5.
Might have been my favorite episode so far, episode 5, I think.
If 5 wasn't, then this one was. These two, for me, are definitely 5 and 6 have been the best two so far. Very close. Very close.
We're picking up a little steam here, finally.
I put 5 ahead just because I thought this one was going to be when we go to war.
Yep.
But we weren't. But we're set up.
Yeah.
We're set up to go.
I feel like this was a little bit of a filler today. A little too much, like we're fighting in Numenor against the Galadriel's sword fighting, and
Yeah, this was like the last push for setup, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree.
We got 3 episodes after this. I would have to imagine we're going to probably start cranking things up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think all the pieces are on the table, and in a sense,
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree. It definitely was like an episode for moving the pieces along, but like Seth said, I think we're battle ready now. I think we're ready for this next episode. I think we're definitely going to be seeing some some action.
Go to Middle Earth, boys.
Yeah, we're going in.
Pack your bags.
Big Harfoot episode this week. They were completely left out of episode 5, which they've done a few times now. Elrond was out of an episode. Elrond and Durin, Durin is by far and away taken over my favorite character.
Still the best storyline to be.
Yeah.
Love that.
The elves and the dwarves.
Yeah, totally agree. Best storyline.
100%.
Yeah, all 3. All right, total unison on that, boys. I love that. But big Harfoot episode. They were back in a big way this week, which I enjoyed. I liked the Harfoots and stuff. I liked all their stuff this week. I thought it was all pretty good. But definitely a strong episode. Like you hinted at, we got a little bit of action too. It wasn't a total flat.
No, it
episode.
wasn't totally flat. Had the
bad.
wolves attack there.
Yeah,
Thought that was pretty cool. Still interested to see who Meteor Man is.
I like that Meteor Man.
Yeah,
I like that
Meteor Man.
I've been starting to call him the Stranger because if you watch with subtitles, that's what the subtitles has him as.
Yeah. I think that guy Nerd of the Rings calls him Meteor Man. So
I like that.
Just what
Meteor
I've been,
Man.
you know. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode. The Harfoots, wasn't really too sure how to feel about that storyline when the show first kicked off, but it's growing on me.
Yeah,
It's growing on me a little bit, you know. So hey, we'll see.
I'm on the Team Saruman train for the Meteor Man.
Saruman.
Yeah.
I'm starting online is starting to really say that it's like going to be a completely new character. I hope it's. I don't know. I'm fine with it. I guess if it is, but that I would love for it to be.
I think it'd be a bigger oh shit moment if it was Saruman versus a new. You'd be like, oh fuck.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I'd have to agree. That'd be pretty nuts. But I'd also say we've been talking about Halbrand a lot, and this episode kind of turned me off to the idea that he's Saruman. I don't think he's.
I don't think he's Sauron. Yeah,
Could he end up being a wraith? Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't think he's Sauron. He's definitely doing some. He's always scheming, though. You know, he got his little guild thing there by basically selling out Galadriel.
Yep.
And he's in Farazan's ear, so he's a sneaky guy. I'm not too sure what he'll end up being, but yeah, I agree. I don't think he's Sauron either.
All right, let's dive in, shall we? We open up Harfoot migration, as we said, no show in episode 3. But we see that the Stranger's picking up things pretty quick. The guy's learning how to talk pretty fast. Nori's teaching him up. And we see that Pops' foot's doing a little bit better. They're making their way. But you notice that there are no other fucking Harfoots with them in this opening scene. It's like just them.
They're leaving him in the dust now.
Yeah, for
They're
real,
leaving him
man.
in the dust.
What the fuck?
Hey.
You would think, though, that this Stranger Wizard guy, with the fact of his size, you think he'd be able to pick up the pace, maybe catch up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're trying to leave him in the dust a little bit.
Yeah, no kidding, man. I think so. Pretty little funny thing I thought was funny is that they mentioned that Mom is a snorer, and Mom's like, I don't really snore that bad. And everyone kind of turns on it, and then they even go to the Stranger.
And
even he's just like,
yeah,
can't help you, man.
I like that a little bit.
I thought that was pretty
They've had
funny.
a couple good little like humorous things like that. you
Yeah.
know? I like that.
This episode was actually pretty funny that you say that. There were a
Yeah.
couple times in this episode where I laughed.
Yeah.
We get a nice little song from Nori's friend there. We do a little traveling montage, which I thought was nice. Showed a good way to cut. Like, they covered a fucking shit ton of ground, man. My God.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering how much time, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it seems like they were covering almost like as much ground as they did like in the whole first Lord of the Rings movie.
yeah, that's the fellowship. The journey.
real.
It seems like they did that in like
They
an
did the
episode.
whole journey.
Yeah,
they did the whole journey already.
Oh man.
Yeah, no shit. And we kind of end. The song ends there. Like I said, we're traveling. We have a little montage going, and then when it ends, we actually go back to the Meteor site where Meteor Man first crash lands. I like that name. That's gonna stick. Meteor Man crash lands, and we get introduced to some new villains. I mean, I assume they're villains. They don't look like good guys.
I think so. I think that I was watching that Nerd of the Rings there, and I think those are followers of Sauron.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what it seems to be the conclusion. So
Almost like a cult. All in
Yeah,
white robes,
exactly.
Super pale.
Yep.
Super pale.
yep.
They also looked like they hadn't eaten in forever. They were all mad skinny,
Yeah,
mad
skinny. Yeah, it was interesting to see what they're up to. They had that like the same constellations too there, the stars that he's looking for. They had him on the plate, I think.
pale. The Stranger's looking for.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a shot from like the back when they're looking down at the actual like
meteor
pit.
thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's got like the plate and it's got like that the set of
I didn't even pick
constellations
up on
on
that.
there. Yeah.
That makes sense though, because obviously if they're tracking him, that's what he's tracking.
That's what
They're
he's
probably
looking
tracking
for,
the same
so,
thing,
yeah.
that makes sense. Creepy looking guys though. I'm not gonna lie. Even
Real
though they weren't
creepy
like
looking.
ugly like orcs, they just kind of gave me creepy vibes.
Oh yeah.
So I'm interested to see what they're all about and who they are working with. Like you said, maybe Sauron, maybe there's something new. I don't know, but interesting, definitely. We go to our current big bad. We go to Adar, and he's chilling with an orc, and they're basically kind of looking basically at the town that they're going to be eventually trying to take. And Adar fucking does some weird shit where he basically like pulls up the guy's sleeve and makes him get burned in the sunlight.
He burns the orc.
And he's like, I wish you could feel the sunlight like I do. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful feeling. And then he kind of goes like, for now though, because the sun's about to be like out of the sky.
Right.
Basically hinting at like what like Mordor's coming.
Yeah,
you know
darkness.
what I mean? Darkness is gonna spread over the land, and there won't be no sunlight over
Exactly.
there. But definitely like a weird little scene.
Yeah, it was a little weird. He's definitely got a little psychopath in him. Adar. Yeah.
They mentioned too. They mentioned that the tunnel is ready, so it looks like they're going to be using more of those tunnel systems to probably try and get under this town that they're held up. And I keep forgetting the name. It's something like Osgiliath, but it's not Osgiliath.
Yeah, the tower.
But it's fucking.
I forget what it's called.
It's something very very similar to
Overland, or I forget. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the tunnel is all about. And I originally thought when they first try escaping, I thought they might have been in Mordor, but I guess that's not where they're at.
Southlands? I thought like the whole Southlands was Mordor.
I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
But I guess I just thought it was like like near Mount Doom.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I gotcha.
Yeah,
because if you even look like at the old maps, Mordor is fucking big.
yeah, it's huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
There's just nothing in it. It's just orcs, dead land and shit.
Dead
you know what I
land,
mean? Yeah,
exactly.
literally just dead land.
Basically just hell.
But like I said, definitely a weird little scene. But we know that they're on the move. They're coming for friggin' Arondir and I always forget the girl's name, but Bronwyn.
Bronwyn. Yep.
There we go. Bronwyn. Actually, that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna go to the town, and basically now that they know that Adol's coming, Bronwyn is gonna give a speech, and it's one of the worst motivational speeches I've ever heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you guys have ever seen the show C on Apple TV, but that's one that I watch. It's another war-like show.
Yep.
And there is even way worse than this though. The single worst motivational speech, and it happens to be given by a woman too. But I remember Jason Momoa is like the lead.
Right.
And as soon as she's done, he just like comes in right after her, just like, all right, thanks, good job. Like, all right, boys, let's fucking go now. You know what I mean? He was like, that was terrible. Like, leave the motivational shit to me. That was the only one that came to mind that was worse than this.
I thought they could have done a better job with the speech for sure. I don't even mind that it was her delivering it. It was just
there was
no
speech.
Yeah, exactly.
Which might just be her character. You know what I mean? Might not be her.
Yeah, I thought it was intentionally bad.
Right. I think it's possible.
Could be.
But it turns out, even though it was a bad speech, most of the townsfolk seem like they're all right. Let's go. You know what I mean? And then the fucking old guy, the old creepy dude from last week, whose name I can never remember, but he comes waddling on in, and he's just like, "Fight? What are you guys crazy?" He's like, "We should go surrender. Let's go bend the knee. That's how our family all lived. That's how that's how we're still here, because that's what they did."
Right.
Sure enough, half the town's like, "Good call.
Yeah.
We're out. We're with you." You know what I mean? Town basically split in half. Most of the people that we know stay in town. The only person that really leaves is the old dude, and then Theo's bitch friend there.
Yeah, the kid with
that kid
the bowl
sucks.
cut. Yeah,
he was out of there.
He was tough. He was tough.
That guy stinks.
Yeah.
The whole village was in until the speech.
Yeah.
It divided the village.
You know what's pretty funny too is that I can see why the town was split, because the old guy's speech was also pretty
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
Right. Neither one of them really
Which one
did
was
much,
worse?
you know
Which
what
one
I
was
mean?
worse?
Yeah, for real. No one really feels great about their decision.
No.
You know what I mean? But they're gonna go bend the knee to fucking Adar, and now we have a lot less people to try and defend this town. Basically, when the time comes to fight,
Yep.
we go to Numenor for the first time. And we see that Hallbrand is pretty fucking skilled. He wasn't lying. The dude can make some swords. He's in the blacksmith. He's fucking making some nice weaponry. And he's going to get summoned. He's going to get called up to the queen's little council chambers there. Who's waiting for him? The queen, Galadriel, Pharazôn. And basically he kind of takes them through how Morgoth attacked in the first war. Kind of showing this is where they came, this is where they landed, this is where they came through.
Yep.
Maybe they'll take a similar path this time. You know what I mean? And then the queen's kind of like, all right, cool. Like, thanks for the help. You know what I mean? You can kind of give us more information when we get there. And he's kind of like, when we get there.
Yeah, it catches him off guard a little.
And she's like, well, yeah, Galadriel told us you're the heir to be in the Southlands. Like, obviously you're coming. And he's just like, I don't know. I kind of like it here.
Yeah, that's why he's just,
kind of weird.
He's a schemer.
You know what I mean?
He's just a schemer.
Yeah, tells Galadriel straight up, find another head to crown. You know what I mean? Doesn't want it.
Yeah.
So to me, right there, I mean, obviously this guy a little sketchy, can always be playing, the long con. But to me, I don't think Sauron's going to be that self-loathing. You know what I mean? Just so like pussy, kind of crying like, I'm going to stay here and make my swords. But
I think it's not the swords that he wants to make. I think ultimately it's that just like the welding, you know what I mean? That
forging
craftsmanship,
shit? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like forging something, that like learning from them. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We'll have to see if Galadriel can convince him to come along because, you know what I mean? Like we said, he's the heir. He's supposed to be kind of helping to unite all these people to our cause.
Yeah, the Southlands.
Kind of fucking form this, you know what I mean? So we need him. We go back to the Hotfoots, and they are going to be back on their migration. And the head of the Hotfoots there, Sadek, his wife is basically kind of saying, "Yo, I don't trust this stranger dude. I think we should she even says, I think we should, like, take the wheels.
Yeah, they were going to take the wheel. They were pretty cutthroat about
and
that.
leave them behind. No shit.
Yeah. My God. She wasn't messing around.
They're real scared of this stranger, you know what I mean? But it turns out she kind of, wanders off from her husband. She's looking for something out in the woods. She comes across Nori and her friend, who they found some tracks in the same woods. So they kind of come running over to her like, hey, we got to get back to the crew because, you know what I mean? We just saw some tracks. We're out here alone.
Some wolves out here.
Fucking go, right.
Right.
Sure enough, wolves come upon them, you know what I mean? Start coming on in. And right as before they're about to fucking just eat Nori, the stranger shows up. Just picks up the fucking wolf with his goddamn hands.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Chucks it.
Badass.
That was badass.
That was pretty crazy.
Just straight catches that thing, sends it. The thing whelps. It's just like, what the fuck, man? Shit.
What was there? Like 3 of them, too?
Three of them, yeah. So the three wolves kind of start crouching in on him, start moving in, and then he's like, all right, you know what I mean? I can handle one of you with my bare hands. 3 of you, fucking ground punch, like fucking a Hulk or something. Hulk smashes the ground.
You know he's got to be a wizard or something.
Definitely.
You know, if he's doing that stuff.
Interesting, though, they show his hand and, like, his whole forearm. Right after he does that sonic punch, he sends the wolves off, saves the day. But his whole arm is like bruised. Like deep bruised. Looks mean, black, blues, purples, and shit like that.
I think they were saying though, like in Middle Earth or Lord of the Rings, that world, that when you use power like that, there's always
like a price to pay.
Yeah, exactly. Little give and take.
And
take, So I feel like he's just like coming into his shoes a little bit, figuring out what's going on, seeing what he can do,
Yeah, definitely. Learning his powers a little bit.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Learning the language, learning his powers, learning everything.
Yep.
But obviously, you know what I mean? Sadek, his wife, I don't know her name, but she was obviously, kind of throwing them under the bus at the beginning of the scene, but now she just got her life saved by this guy, so I have to imagine she's probably going to be coming around pretty quick, you know what I mean?
I would think so. I'm hoping that starts that,
starting to mend that bridge.
Get that, yeah, exactly. And he starts coming into his own. The stranger there, he starts like becoming whatever he is.
Right. His character's definitely developing pretty quickly.
Yeah.
From there we go to, I would say, probably my favorite scene in the episode that we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. Galadriel is with Elendon, and they're kind of looking over some of these new trainees and recruits that they have before they head out to to war basically at Middle Earth. And Galadriel's like, all right, these guys, they need some training. They ain't going to cut it like fighting like this, you know what I mean? Right. She's actually watching The Rock, like I was saying, the fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Baby Rock.
I freaking realized this week his best friend's just like kind of like a pudgy white dude with like hair down to his elbows. I'm like, that's Mankind. I'm like, it's The Rock and Mankind. It's Mick Foley.
It's the Rock and Sock connection.
The Rock and Sock connection, baby. They're like best friends. They get the look. I was like, I don't need to know. I don't even need to learn these guys' names, baby. This is The Rock and Sock connection. I love that. Yeah, The Rock and Mankind.
Oh, man. He does look just like The Rock.
Just like The Rock.
Young Rock.
Just like The Rock. The hair, everything about him. You give him the tattoos, he's literally The Rock.
That's hilarious.
Raise his eyebrow, call it a day.
No shit, right? I bet he can learn how to do that in a fucking afternoon. But basically they're sparring. So Galadriel comes over. There's a bunch of other recruits there, and she's like, "All right, let's fucking have a little training session. Whoever can land a hit on me wins, basically." And then Elendon comes over and makes it a little bit sweeter. Says, "Whoever lands the hit becomes lieutenant."
Yeah.
So next thing we know, we have a full-on just fight going on. Galadriel starts with one guy, The Rock. Then his Mankind jumps in. She's fighting 2. Then next thing you know, she's fighting like 6 guys.
Yep.
Awesome little fight scene.
Whooping their ass too.
Yeah, teaching them the whole time too, which I thought was cool though, the way they did that. You
know
what I mean?
Yeah.
Constantly,
beating
like,
them in, telling them like this is what you should be doing as she's kicking their ass. Yeah, I like
the fight scenes have been awesome.
Yeah,
the
agree.
Whole series,
I
agree. That matter from last week, this week.
Yeah,
definitely, totally agree. And a whole crowd of people kind of gathered to come and watch. She's got an orchestra, and all the people are kind of loving what they're watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seemed like she was starting to, even though she's an outsider here, seems like the people are kind of coming around to her a little bit because of the way she handles this. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I heard Galadriel, the character, has been taking a lot of flack, but I've been a huge fan, at least. Personally.
I think she has her moments. I know. I like her. I definitely, I like her. I think it's funny every time that she just can't control her like anger and she just starts spouting off.
Yeah,
like she owns the place.
She's a hothead right now. She's a hothead, but
and she also just thinks she's like Queen Bee everywhere she goes. It's
right,
like, bro,
exactly.
Chill,
a lot of power. No, she's got an ego. It's all right.
No political.
The Elvish ego.
Yeah, that is. That's what it is.
And ladies and gentlemen, that might just be the episode's title for this
The Elvish ego.
The Elvish ego.
But definitely, like we said, cool little fight scene. And it turns out who ends up finally landing the little stroke ends up gaining the point, but The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock is the new lieutenant. Love to see it. But definitely, like I said, cool ass fucking scene. I really enjoyed it. Definitely a little bit of fight. Oh, actually, I have one other note from that scene that I noticed. One of two things, actually, I noticed from this episode. So, I know there's already been a lot of times to Numenor and Gondor, like the white tree and all that shit.
Yes.
I noticed in this scene, all the fucking pommels on the swords all have the horse's head on it, just like Rohan.
So, I think there's a part of Numenor that... Oh, it's the capital.
Okay.
Which I don't think they're in right now for whatever reason.
That's interesting.
I'm not 100% sure.
But
I'm pretty sure the capital is like known for its horses.
Okay.
So I think that's the reasoning behind that. They've got like the long, like Rohan looking
That's
horse.
the other one. At the end of the episode when they're packing
the
on
helmets.
They got the
Yep.
I was gonna say,
I think that's what it is. I'm not 100%. I don't know how they're gonna tie that in, but I think I think the capital's like known for their horses. So
Numenor basically, it seems like they're gonna some way split, and they're gonna develop two like the biggest, whatever you want to call them, countries or whatever in the second age or third age.
Yeah, Gondor and
Rohan.
Yes. I don't know 100% as far as Rohan.
Yeah, it
and
seems
what
that
happened there.
Just based on like that, like I said, just because they have the helmets, they got the swords. You know what I mean?
They got the only thing I was wondering was like Numenor is and I think that guy Nerd of the Rings there brought it up, was like Numenor is supposed to be like this big powerful empire, wealthy, and like why are they having volunteers bring over the Queen region? Like, wouldn't you think, oh, we've got soldiers, a big army, a big navy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess that was the only thing I was questioning. Like, are they really as powerful as they are? Are they just saying like, oh, we're gonna send these guys because they're sort of expendable? And
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm thinking maybe because of almost political reasons. Like, this is probably already causing a divide amongst the people. I would imagine the fact that they're just going.
Yeah, so
if they're demanding their army to go.
Yeah,
I bet that's probably not gonna.
It's gonna create a little bit of an uproar within the.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
There's probably
that
guys
makes sense.
with. I mean, obviously, you're a soldier, so you're supposed to just take your orders. But I'm sure. I mean, obviously, you still have a brain inside your head. I'm sure there's probably soldiers that are like against this.
Right.
So if they have to go fight for something that they're not told, their heart's not in it.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense because I mean they've got the Sea Guard, which you would think would be like, all right,
right.
That's the.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Top
I would
dog.
say at least if you have volunteers, at least these people support the cause. They believe in the cause.
Right.
They'll do what they need to do. You know what I mean?
I think that makes the most sense. It was just something that I questioned.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I hear you. That definitely does make sense because they obviously are supposed to be this big, powerful nation.
Right.
We stay in Numenor and we go to Pharazôn and his son. And they're having a little conversation. The son basically is confused as shit. Like, dude, when the king, the queen's father, was in charge, you were basically doing everything you could to prevent the alliance with elves from reforming.
Yep.
He's like, why now are you all of a sudden supporting the queen in this quest to help Galadriel? Why are you supporting this? This is fucking crazy. And basically the father's like, dude, are you dumb? Kind of explains to him that he's playing the long con. He's like, eventually we're going to be able to rule over elves. He's like, we're going to be bringing Halbrand to the Southlands. We're going to be giving them that air that's going to unite those people. They're men, we're men. They're going to be in our debt. We can form a nice big alliance, all the men's in the realm, and we can stand against the elves. And eventually, if we beat them, they can be taking orders from us.
Exactly. He's scheming.
What's that old standard? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Exactly.
But Pharazôn showing like he's got some tricks up his sleeves, which I was asking questions about this last week. I was asking if he was only supporting it to get them out of town, so that once they were out of town, he's like, all right, guys, all those losers are out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can take over a little bit.
Yeah, let's close the doors off. They're not coming back. We're here now. Let's tear this thing up.
They only sent, 3 ships, so, he's in a good spot right now.
Yeah, so Pharazôn's up to some tricks. His son seems like he kind of got the message. It seems like he took a little bit of a learning experience from that, which I'm sure was the point for Pharazôn. You know what I mean? Got to teach up the next line.
Right.
We go to the Queen of Numenor, and she is talking to her father, the ex-king, who's looking a little bit better than he was last week. He was in bedridden. I didn't even think he could get out of bed. This week he's walking around and shit.
Walking, talking.
Having second, forming sentences
talking.
and
I don't know.
shit.
There was some weird thing at the end of last week, I think, where he like got hit with a little light or his eyes opened up or something when she like called the Alliance. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it or it's just one of his better days, you know?
Yeah, when
you get good days and bad days when you get older. But yeah, he's looking good.
Definitely. She tells him the plan. She goes, hey, Dad, we're going to Middle Earth. I'm going to support friggin' my new friend Galadriel. We're going to go fucking form the alliance with elves just like you wanted. Thinking almost, that he'd be like, nice, good job, babe.
Right.
And what does he say? He goes, don't go to Middle Earth. All you'll find there is darkness.
Yeah.
Fuck. Not good. I bet that was a big red flag for her just because, like I said, she's probably assuming that this guy's going to be pumped. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if I believe he's got a little bit of that. Well, they have the Palantir, which you can see into the future. Yep. So I'm wondering if, obviously, he saw the wave.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he's just seeing the darkness, and that's sort of what he's like. He doesn't really see exactly what it is.
Right.
But he sees the darkness and knows that that's what's coming.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of that Palantir thing for sure. Those things are always
the seeing stones.
Yeah, every time they come in, it's always interesting. From there, we go back to the stranger and Nori. And the stranger, like we said, his arms all kind of fucked up and shit like that. I guess Nori noticed it, right after the ground punch. So she's trying to be nice, trying to come help out her new friend. She brings over some medicine. And the stranger's already, like, healing himself. He's, like, bent over this puddle. He's got his arm in the puddle. He's freezing all of the water in the puddle, and it's starting to literally freeze all the way up his arm to his forearm. Nori, for whatever reason, I don't know what the hell she was thinking was going to happen. She tried to like grab his arm, like that would stop it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That was dumb.
Process at all.
Yeah.
I don't like
That was dumb.
And then of course, like a typical, like just a dummy, she gets mad when something goes wrong because then what happens? Her arm starts freezing too. She's like, oh shit, like fuck, let go, kind of a thing. Yep. He's in his little trance.
Yeah, he was in a trance for sure.
Focusing on what he's doing, his little spells and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Can't interrupt magic. We saw that in Spider-Man. If you interrupt magic, bad things happen.
That's it.
But friggin', sure enough, he kind of ends up finishing up his little spell kind of a thing. And there's a little minor explosion, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Nori kind of gets pushed back a little ways, takes a little roll, but totally fine. But now she's all like scared and shit. Stranger goes over to apologize, like, hey, my bad, we're friends. I didn't mean to, you know what I mean? And Nori just like runs away. Like, man, I'm scared of you now. I'm like, dude, come on. Yeah. This is your own fault.
No, I mean, it is.
Self-inflicted.
Come on, right? Sure. It was an accident. But it was your own fault. Don't go touching people whose arms are freezing and stuff.
Do we ever see her arm too afterwards? Like, was her arm still frozen?
No, I think it was back to normal. Yeah, no, I think it was back to normal.
Oh, okay. So there's no,
I think it was back to normal
as of right now. No repercussions.
No.
Didn't seem like
they definitely showed. Yeah, they showed her kind of like looking at her hand, kind of like on the ground.
Yeah, I don't think there were any marks or anything. So
yeah, it was going back.
Just a little rattled.
But yeah, the stranger's probably like, dude, what the fuck? I thought we were friends. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's just learning. You can't be that like.
Yeah, he's like a big toddler, basically.
Right, exactly. I mean? You can't be that emotional with him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He was already being hard on himself in the beginning of the episode when they were talking in the very beginning because he killed the fireflies. Remember?
Yeah, and she calls.
I'm peril.
yeah. She's saying there's a lot of perils on the journey.
Yeah,
he says, oh, I'm a peril. She's
that was funny too, actually. Yeah. He was like sad with himself. He was like, I heard butterflies.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like down on himself.
Exactly. No, that had a couple little. Like we were saying, a couple little humor things in there this week I liked.
Yeah. I'm liking the stranger. I'm liking this guy. But I felt bad for him in this moment. Like his only real friend. And you know what I mean? She kind of bailed on him now too. But like I said, her fault. But we go to all of our favorite characters. We finally get to I would say probably my favorite part of the episode. We get to Lyndon. And we got Lord Elrond. We got the High King Gil-galad. We got Prince Durin's with us. He made the trip. What's the other guy?
Celebrimbor.
There you go. I always think that one's a mess. They're all having a little dinner basically, and right away Gil-galad's already kind of fishing it to me. He was trying to almost kind of get little information.
Yeah, I don't even think he beat around the bush. He kind of went straight at it. Yeah.
He's like, Prince Durin, the dwarves were quiet for a while. Things are starting to pop off now. Like, what led to this? What's going on? You know what I mean? Anything going on?
Yeah.
Durin kind of fires right back, a little witty. What does he say? Something about elves taking so long.
Elves take like 2 weeks to take a shit or something.
While taking crumbs out of his beard.
The
classic.
Yeah.
And then he pulls a little bit of a power move, but I think also Durin was trying to kind of figure out the exact situation that he was in. He was trying to measure out how Gil-galad is really feeling, and he goes, this table right here, where'd you guys get this table? Because this table is a very certain piece of stone. These things aren't just like given out. These are very special amongst the dwarves. They're only given for like high ceremonies or like funerals, tombs, burials, stuff like that. So he's like, how the hell is it that you guys came across one of these? And Gil-galad sees it as an opportunity to kind of, all right, let's make some good vibes here, mend the bridge,
smooth things over a little.
Take the table home with you. If this is yours, if that's a big thing for you guys, it's a big custom. My bad, I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? Take it with you. And Durin's like, word, okay.
Yeah. Little respect there, between the two, I think. I think that was a good little scene there just to show their relationship.
Then we kind of, after dinner, everyone's kind of cleared out now, and now it's just Lord Elrond and Gil-galad. And Elrond is basically kind of calls out Gil-galad for like, did you send me to Khazad-dûm with a hidden meaning behind it that I didn't know about? Like, I thought I was going to try to get this forge built. I thought we were trying to mend this alliance. Like, is there an alternative thing here that's going on?
Right.
And sure enough, there is. Little story. Gil-galad kind of tells him that basically, at the end of the day, that the light of the star of the elves, the light for the elves, is fading, and that if they don't do something about it, they're going to have to leave Middle-earth. The elves are eventually going to die. They're going to eventually basically grow old and peril, just like men would. And he tells him a little story, basically, from back in the day about an elf and a Balrog that fought, both put their powers into a tree.
Yeah, he has him recite it, right?
He has Elrond do it, actually.
Yeah, he has Elrond. He's kind of a... seems like kind of a dick, honestly.
I could not agree more.
Yeah, he calls him half elf too in that scene. Elrond half elf or something.
That is very dickish.
He's kind of being an asshole in that scene.
But basically, they're looking for. They keep calling it an ore, which I guess is kind of just like a mineral or something like that.
Yeah.
But they keep calling it an ore, and they say that that's what they need in order to basically reestablish the light to save the elves.
Yep.
And he's curious if what is making the dwarves kind of pop back off, if maybe that's the ore, they found it, that they need.
Yeah, they're digging it up now.
So he's asking Gil-galad that much. Like, hey, did they find anything? Did they mention anything to you like that? And Elrond, man of his word, made a promise, swore on the mountain that he wasn't going to tell any of Durin's secrets, and that's exactly what he did. He just says, no, I'm sorry, I swore to secrecy.
But he does, the only thing that bothered me about that was that he does tell Celebrimbor.
Well, yeah. He doesn't like come right out and say, I do know what you're saying. Yeah, he does basically the same thing in almost both scenes.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He
by
says
not
it,
telling
he says
them
it
the way he
without
tells
saying it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like if he didn't find anything,
doesn't he end up showing Celebrimbor though? I thought at the end of that scene.
So I was noticing that he has like it out in his hand and stuff, but he never really says like this is it.
Okay.
So I don't know if maybe Celebrimbor just doesn't even like.
Yeah, just doesn't notice
doesn't
it.
Doesn't even
just,
know. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Because I was like, all right, he doesn't tell Gil-galad, but he goes and tells Celebrimbor. Now,
right,
I could understand it. Right, he's breaking his word. That's what
sense.
My issue was with the scene. But
right.
I understood that he would tell Celebrimbor before he would tell Gil-galad, because Gil-galad was sort of playing games in the shadows, and Celebrimbor was like straight up. Well, I guess he really wasn't straight up.
He
with
said
him,
he wanted
but
to
he
be,
does.
Supposedly, he wanted to tell him, but
right. But I think him and Celebrimbor and Elrond have a good relationship where like they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Elrond trusts Celebrimbor.
I think so.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is him. I'm worried about Celebrimbor being also maybe on Gil-galad's side, being a little evil about it. I don't know. I don't know if I trust him. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man. Yeah.
I don't know if I trust him. I really don't.
That would be a good little twist if they made him
bad, like something like that. Not bad.
Not bad, but just like. Plotting.
Plotting. Yes, that's a good way to put it. But basically, like I said, the elves might have to leave. I think Gil-galad says too that if they have to leave, basically it'd be the end of all life on Middle Earth, not just elves, but he said men too. They would fall without basically their help and their defense and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems like he knows something's going on. Obviously, the trees are dying, the trees are getting gross. Yep. So it seems like you said, we're picking up a little steam here.
Definitely, yeah. Let's see if Elrond's gonna, we gotta see if Elrond's gonna fold and tell him what's up or not. But we go back to Numenor. And Isildur is trying to get his way onto the ship, basically onto the crew to go. That's going to be going to Middle Earth with his boys, with his dad. He wants to go. He's been rejected so far by his dad. His dad basically told him nah. Yep. So what's he going to do now that his boy is the Rock's the new lieutenant? He's going to go and apologize to him for the fight that they had last week. For apologizing, sorry I got us fired again. Sorry that I was an asshole afterwards about it. The Rock's like, nah, guy, I ain't taking your apology. Isildur's like, well, I'll give you a hit. Ends up giving him 2, just a 1-2.
Yep.
Friggin' right to the jaw, right to the gut, little 1-2 combo. Settles the beef right there, as all boys tend to do. And then the guy goes, the Rock's still like, sorry, but you still ain't getting on, dude. Like, this is my life's work, you know what I mean? You already fooled me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. I'm sorry.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice,
shame on me.
Exactly.
And it seems like he's still doesn't have a ride, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then to kick him while he's down, they tell him, but you know who is going? Your horse.
Yeah.
Your dad's going, your boys are going, and your horse has been selected.
That horse, too.
Yeah. He's always talking about that horse, too. He loves that fucking thing.
Have we seen it yet?
I don't think we've seen it yet. Actually, maybe real quick on the beach at the very first time. I think.
You might be right. His sister brings it over. Yeah. Okay.
But we stay kind of right in that same, right in Numenor, kind of in the same manner of events. We see that Pharazon's son has snuck aboard one of the ships, one of the 5 ships that they're going to be sending to Middle Earth to help the cause, basically.
Yep.
Now, even though I was kind of not weirded out, but a little confused by this, I guess I would say, because he already talked to his dad, Pharazon, and Pharazon laid him out the grand scheme plan that we're going to eventually one up the elves. You know what I mean? And it seemed like he got it.
Yep.
But even with all that, here he is, still here, and he's going to be trying to sabotage one of the ships. Pops a bunch of the kegs that have the oil in it.
Yep.
Goes to light it up. And right before he does so, he hears like a little kind of, skirmish, not skirmish, but a little noise behind him, basically.
Yeah, a little rustle.
Goes over, and Isildur smuggled himself onto the ship, was trying to hide out in the fucking goods to get on. Little stowaway.
Yeah.
And Isildur's like, yo, what the fuck you doing, dude? Like, what's going on?
Right.
Little Russell, kind of wrestle, tries to get the lantern out of his hands. Lantern falls. Sure enough, blows up not 1 ship, but 2 ships.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And then Isildur goes to save his son. I couldn't believe that. I was like, what the fuck? Just leave this guy be. He just blew up our ships.
Yeah. Well, first of all, that guy didn't seem like he should be blowing up the ships. Like you said, he just seemed out of place. Yeah. I don't know if it's because he's got the thing for Isildur's sister, and she's trying to sort of stop that.
A move for love, huh? I could see that.
I think
he does get the googly eyes for her.
He does. He definitely's got the googly eyes for her. But I don't know if that's his reasoning behind that, because I think he sees it as a way to sway the people. And I think he mentions to his dad, Pharazon, that when the king was working with the elves, you were doing everything to prevent it, sort of.
Right, yeah.
So I think he's hoping that the people will sway, and that'll sway his father's opinion. Because she tells him, you're not speaking loud enough. Basically, like, sack up and go tell your dad this is what he should do instead of sending them out and agreeing.
Yeah, I thought that was a great line. Dude, yeah. When she's like, every time my dad talks, he turns his ears off, and she says, "Well, talk louder."
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good call, though. It could be for love.
Yeah, that's like you said. I think that's one of the only few options, or is just totally against it himself.
Right.
But
because like I said, it did seem like he took his dad's lesson. Like he was like, all right, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Right.
But weird that he would just go and try to sabotage these ships, ends up blowing up 2 of the ships. You know what I mean? But like we said, Isildur saves him, swims into safety,
blowing up some resources.
Yep. Elladan sees too, like his dad sees that his son just saved this dude. You know what I mean? So maybe he scored a couple points there from Daddy-O.
I think so. They both lie on the spot there. So
yep.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
How the fuck did they survive that?
Good question. Yeah, they were literally on the boat. Yeah.
Like I'm not one that does this normally with logistics of movies, but like they're both in this boat with the oil and it blows up and like they just swim away, no problem.
The sea is always right. The sea is always right.
Yeah, something like that.
And we stay and we go to kind of back to the Queen's council chamber, and the Queen, Galadriel, Pharazon, and Elendil are all like kind of rendezvoused because we just lost 2 ships, and we're like, all right, what the fuck's gonna happen now? Like, what are we gonna do? And Galadriel's like, yo, we still got 3. Like, we still got 3 ships. We can still make it work. Like, let's go do what we were gonna do. They're all like, where's Halbrand? Like, this guy is kind of key to this plan. Like, we're uniting the Southlands. He's the guy that's gonna do it. Where is he? Why is he not here?
Yeah.
Galadriel kind of just makes an excuse for him, like, oh, he's sick today. You know what I mean? Can't make it into work. So they're like, all right, we're gonna make a decision in the morning, but make sure Halbrand's here. He needs to be here in order for us to make a resolution and figure out what we're gonna do. So now Galadriel, she's got some work to do. We go to the townfolk surrendering. Good scene. I enjoyed this scene a lot, actually. The old man, who we know has already kind of bent the knee to these to Morgoth before. He's kind of used to this thing. He summoned this whole group together to go do it again. He kind of takes the reins, swears loyalty to Adar. But when he does so, I swear I pledge my undying loyalty to you, calls him Sauron.
Yeah.
And Adar does not like it. Ends up whipping his ass. Gives him a quick little beat down.
Gives him a beat down. The other thing I heard was that when Sauron was like sort of in the shadows, that he didn't want his name spoken, like that name Sauron.
Ooh,
so I'm
interesting.
wondering if that's another thing, like disrespect. Like
interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe he's still trying to stay hidden too, maybe a little bit, if that's the case. Like people he doesn't want, maybe necessarily.
Yeah, it doesn't want people to know he's back. I'm not too sure. I just I think that's something that like during that time it was something he didn't want, like that name. He didn't want people speaking it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty funny though. The old man kind of goes like, "You are Sauron, aren't you?" You know what I mean? Right. And then he kind of, by the look on his face, he's like, "All right, whoever you are, I'll serve you." You know what I mean?
Doesn't care.
You got my undying loyalty, no matter what. And Adar goes, all right, but, words don't do it. Blood only, you know what I mean? Ends up taking Theo's friend, that little bitch, puts him down and kind of says, all right, you kill this kid and we're good. We're bonded. And it doesn't show it, but you very much get the impression that old man...
Yeah, he got the job
did the
done.
job done.
That's what it seems like.
I'm starting to think that this old guy might be a wraith too eventually. This guy seems like he's already wielded this hilt thing. He's got the mark. He's swearing fealty over and over again. I'm thinking maybe he gets a little power.
I could see that.
You know what I mean?
Or a Death Eater, one of the other. That sounds like all the things about Death Eater.
That's my prediction, though. I think the old man's going to be one of the 9 men. I think he's going to get a ring.
Okay.
I think he's already sworn to Morgoth. Now he's doing it to Adar. He's rallying some people to the cause even, too. You know what I mean? He's bringing them soldiers. He's willing to kill for the cause. I don't know. I think he might get rewarded, man. We go to the town, and we see that Arondir and Theo are getting a little closer. He's kind of teaching them how to shoot a bow and stuff like that. He tells them that, while he's been overlooking these people for all these years, keeping an eye on them, that, it was his job, he grew close to these people. He grew a likeness for them, you know what I mean? Yep. Friends and stuff. So Theo's like, all right, you know what? You seem like you're a cool dude. Let me show you what I got hidden. And sure enough, he shows him the hilt. And Arondir's like, I've seen something like that before. They go over and kind of hidden on the outskirts of town, sort of in the trees, cemented into the fucking rock and tree.
Yeah, carved in there.
Yeah, is like an identical full sword. It looks like it hasn't been moved in friggin' years. I think it's made of stone or something like that.
I think it is, man. I think that's just I think that's like a mural or something.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looked like to me.
Sauron or Morgoth, one of the two. So, yeah, I think that's just a mural there.
Shows that town, was already sworn to the enemy back in the day and shit. You know what I mean?
It shows you're in the enemy's territory.
Yeah. Arondir says that the hilts that the boy found that he's been using is a key. Doesn't know what it's to, but the guy mentioned taking out the sun. Guy mentioned being a god. Could be a key to something very big and powerful. Bronwyn's like, all right, in order to save us, we got to friggin' surrender. And Arondir's like, what? You kidding me?
Complete 180 out of her.
I know.
Couldn't believe it, honestly.
Now that her son's in a little bit of jeopardy, you know what I mean?
One thing I did want to just touch on is the key thing. If you recall from the first episode, when they go to that, when they're way up north in the snow, and they're in Morgoth's little lair there, and they're trying to interact with the the other world or something. There's like an orc that's stuck in the he's stuck in the wall kind of, and they're like, they're trying to figure out how to talk between the two worlds. I'm wondering if that hilt is a key to either get Sauron back or enter that sort of
the other world.
That other world,
Very
the upside down of the Lord of the Rings.
The upside down of the Lord of the Rings. I like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though. I do know. I remember vaguely what you're talking about, like that little tomb kind of thing there. But I get you. Yeah, that could be like the door.
Yeah, a little door, or a key to open up the pathway between the two.
Yeah. I got you. Arondir's gonna basically talk Bronwyn off the edge. You know what I mean? He's gonna say, "Hey, listen, there's an alternative idea. We'll figure it out." They decide, all right, maybe we can. We know they come in the tunnels. Maybe we can do something to bury them somehow. Something kind of like that. But I found very funny in this real quick that Arondir mentioned, Bronwyn asks him, like, how long do you think we have? And Arondir goes, days. It's like, okay, we can prep. And then he goes, maybe hours. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Wait,
what? Yeah, right? Like, what the fuck?
Huge window of time.
No shit. Like, which one is it? Days or hours? Can you give us a little bit more of a fucking a tighter window there? Because, I mean, if we have days, we can do some things. Hours, fuck, we're screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
From there, we go to one of the last scenes of the episode. A scene that I loved. Elrond is going to have to tell Durin the truth. And he's going to... Actually, before Elrond's going to tell his truth, Durin tells his truth. The whole table thing was a lie.
That was good.
That table that was up there that I told Gilgalad was all special. It isn't really special. I was kind of just using that as a test. And also, the Lady Disa told me that we need a new table, so I figured it would work out. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Funny they're walking it out, too. All the elves, they got like 12 elves walking the table out.
He's
like
laughing,
6
too.
elves.
Durin's like chuckling at him.
Yeah,
like,
that's how Elrond's like, oh, you lied about the whole thing? He's like, yeah.
Very, very funny. But then, like we said, Elrond's going to tell Durin the truth. He didn't know that he came to Khazad-dûm with basically ulterior motives, but it turns out he actually did. Tells him that the elves are dying. Durin's like, what you mean? He's like, yeah, the elves are fading. We're going to die just like men. And basically, he says the cure is the mithril that you guys just found. Like, that's what we need to survive.
Yep.
So he goes, the fate of the whole elven race is in your hands. And Prince Durin's like, say that again?
Yeah,
the entire
he loves
fate.
it.
Wicked funny. You can see Elrond, just the beginnings of a smirk kind of creep upon his face.
Best part is, too, when he first says it, is you can't really see Durin's face. And then he's like,
yes.
say that again? And then he starts turning.
A little bit louder.
Yeah. But he makes him tell him again, and then what does he go? He goes, whose hands?
Yeah.
Yours.
Yep. He loves it.
Wicked funny. But then he goes, kind of, what does he say? Grab your Elvish shirts there or whatever. Let's go. Let's get moving. And he's like, we gotta go convince the king. He's like, I'm in. You're my boy. I'm gonna help the elves. I'm not like that. If that's what you guys need, let's get it done. But we gotta convince the king. So
I wonder what like the mithril connection is, because like in the original they just did it as like a kind of like armor. You know what I mean?
But it's the actual like the material basically. So it can have
okay.
other purposes.
Got
you know what I'm
it.
saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, for that one they turned it into chainmail.
Like you can like liquidize it and whatever it might be. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was either you or Luke was telling us that. I can't remember which one of you guys it was because all the episodes started to blend together. But that in one of the rings given to one of the elves, there's supposedly it's made of mithril.
Might be Galadriel's.
It could be.
It might be Galadriel's
Wouldn't be surprised
ring,
with
honestly.
just the story.
It might be all 3. I think it might be all 3.
See, yeah, even that would make sense too. Maybe that's how the light, grows. Basically.
Yeah,
You know what
I want to say it might be all 3, but yeah, they use that stuff for a bunch of stuff. Like you were saying, Frodo's
his armor,
chainmail, the blades, so.
But very funny scene, like I said, definitely laugh, which Lord of the Rings isn't known necessarily for all their laughs, but this was that good Elvish dwarven banter again, big time vibes to, Gimli and Legolas. But very funny. And they're heading back to Khazad-dûm, so I guess we'll be back there next episode, I hope.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
To
the
get
Balrog
going.
might be coming, baby. Might be
it's
coming.
I thought we heard one, not in this past episode, but the one in the episode where
when the cave collapses?
When the cave collapses. I thought that was a Balrog.
Oh no shit! Like that was him coming out.
No, not maybe not even coming out, but just getting like disturbed. If you rewatch it, you can definitely hear like something's wrong. 100%.
No shit! I'll have to go check that out.
Definitely worth the watch.
Check that out. Let's finish this up here. So then we go to the last scene of the episode. We're in Numenor. Halbrand's going to choose his fate, basically. Galadriel came in the night, we found out, and she kind of had a little pep talk to him.
Yep.
And the scene opens up. He's walking out of his little blacksmith shop, and he puts down the family crest that Galadriel gave him, puts it down on the table, and for like a split second, we're like, oh, wow, really? He's going to stay behind? Gotcha. Comes back.
Grabs it.
Swipes it off. And then we see the ships being loaded up for Middle Earth. Halbrand's there. He's in his full gear, looking the part. You know what I mean? For the first time. This is what I was saying. The Rohan helmets.
Yeah, with the white,
with the big,
sort of white in the helmets. Yeah,
I thought that was in. Isildur's in. We see Isildur made the cut. He's on board now. His dad let him on in.
Mopping the stables.
Yeah. Galadriel's in her battle armor again, back from episode 1 and 2. Actually, not even episode 2, just episode 1 that we saw her in. But she's back. She's ready to go. And they're heading to Middle Earth on just 3 ships.
Can't wait.
But things are ready to go. We have a fight ready to go in whatever that little town is in the Southlands between Arendir and Nadar.
Yep.
Now we got, a whole reinforcement crew. Galadriel's coming from Numenor. She's got her little army coming. And the men are coming to help.
That's it. Should be a good one next week.
Yeah. I think you get the perfect mix, too, of, like, now you have that battle, and then you keep going back and forth with Elrond, Like, that's more of kind of like storytelling.
Yep.
And then if you keep flip-flopping
bringing a couple
back
stories
and forth.
together, too.
Bring in the Harfoots a little bit,
that too.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Sprinkle them in.
But definitely a strong-ass episode. Like I said, either my favorite or my second favorite with last week. Both very good. Definitely set us up perfectly. We're ready to go now in these last 3 episodes.
The show's gaining steam.
It is.
Serious steam.
And
I've been very impressed by it.
I know that obviously there's a lot going on right now. I know House of the Dragon is huge, and they're in the similar vibe of shows. Obviously, House of the Dragon's a lot more intense, X-rated.
Bunch of the same names, for Christ's sake.
True, but there is not a lot of chatter going on about this show. I feel like it's just getting kind of
looked
thrown
over.
aside.
Yeah, I've been impressed with that. I was worried. I was worried about it, but I think they've done a good job. A couple slow, maybe a little slow to begin with, but
a lot of information, setting the new table and stuff. You know what I mean?
I think you got it though a little bit. We're in a different age. Everybody's thinking, third age. We gotta make some, establish the pieces, put them on the table.
Yeah.
So.
But definitely excited for next week. It's already coming soon, a couple days away.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, almost there, baby.
Thank God.
Hopefully ready for hopefully some battling. You know what I mean? Ready to see I want to see Adar in actual battle. You know what I mean? I hope he doesn't just send his orcs in. I hope that he actually
he's out there doing a little fighting.
I want to see what he can do because I have a feeling he might be a badass.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty savage. I mean, stab that one orc in the So it kind of seems like he's being nice to him, and then he just pop.
He looks like he's just got all the battle. At least they're all scars. You don't know what they're from, but if they are from battle, it just seems like he's lived through some shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully. But good episode. It's gonna wrap Rings of Power, and then let's dive into our last one here. Right, House of the Dragon, baby. Episode number 6. We are fresh off of our 10-year jump. We got our new actors and actresses in, who I all thought did a really good job. I know obviously people were in love with the first step.
Answered the call right away.
Definitely. All did a really good job. I can't believe how much... I know in the trailers we've seen it, but Olivia Cooke looks just like... I'm not sure of her name, but the original Allison actress. They look identical, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. The Rhaenyra one looks a little different, but still good enough, very passable.
I feel like a couple angles they look exactly alike, and then on other shots I'm like, but yeah.
Freaking Allison's though, my God.
Yeah,
clones.
On point.
Clones.
On point. Excellent casting.
Another good episode though. Definitely another good one. Definitely. Kind of actually felt similar to Lord of the Rings in the sense that I feel like this one set the table.
Yeah.
This one seems like now it seems like next week might really kind of pop off a bit. You know what I mean?
I think so. What are we at?
Next week will be 7.
Yeah.
So it seemed like those first 5, we were kind of almost getting introduced to all of our characters, trying to develop kind of some emotions for them and stuff, learn their history a little bit. Then we do this 10-year leap, and now this one felt almost like it was setting the table for where we are now in this 10-year leap.
Right.
And now things are going to kind of start popping off to finish the season.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've noticed so far on this one is that it seems like, unlike the original Game of Thrones, you had kind of different sections. Everybody fucking hates each other.
Yep.
There's not one group of people that like a different one. Everybody hates each other.
Yeah, there's not a lot of good vibes going around.
No.
Not at all. The actual name of this episode, The Princess and the Queen. So I feel like right away we kind of knew that we were in for a little bit of a clashing of the heads between Allison and Rhaenyra, you know what I mean?
Which I love.
Yeah.
Me too.
We open up with Rhaenyra on the birthing bed. And I usually don't really have a problem watching much of anything. Even the episode 1 with the birthing scene in that.
Oh, that was tough.
I swear to God, the sounds in this scene from this week's episode bothered me more than the actual visuals did in episode 1.
Oh, no way. No, the first
one was brutal.
Yeah, the first one was gnarly.
I was uncomfortable on watching this one too because she's like
the squishing.
Yeah, I know. I don't need to react.
Oh my God, it was awful.
I turned up the volume on Sunday Night Football a little bit louder.
Yeah.
That was going on
Mute your TV for a second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was I mean, I don't know if it was a visual versus a hearing thing. Maybe my brain works differently, but those sounds were just like, I was like, okay, listen, I understand what's going on. I don't need those sounds.
Yeah, I agree. I could have done without them for sure.
Those things were brutal. Right away, I was just like, okay, Game of Thrones has started.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
House of the Dragons.
I gotta flip the switch a little.
For real, yeah.
Sunday
Football's done. All right, let's get into this crazy fucked up world we're in. You know what I mean? She gives birth to looks like a little baby boy. Nice and healthy, and instantaneously upon fucking coming out of the friggin' womb, doesn't even cut the umbilical cord yet. We're already summoned up to the queen's friggin' chambers. And right now I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. What? Why? No answer. She's like, all right, fine. If I'm going too. If he's going, I'm going with him. What a gangster.
Badass.
What a gangster.
Badass.
Just fresh off the friggin' birthing table, she gets up. They start trying to dress her and shit like that. She has the afterbirth, which is more the sound effects. I'm like, oh, God. Lenore shows up like a total asshole, even though we know he fights for the other team.
Yeah.
But you would think, this is your wife. You should be there to support her,
give
hold her hand through it, you know
support.
what I mean? He wasn't even there. He pops in the door after everything's
Down
all
at the pub,
done.
drinking with
He
the
probably
boys.
heard the noises. He was
Yeah,
like,
no
I'm out of
shit.
here.
Yeah, for real. He goes, a boy, well done. Thanks, dickhead. Real good. You know what I mean?
Pat on the back. Nice job.
Yeah. Hey, then he goes, are you in pain? And she's like, I don't see him in fucking pain.
Yeah,
He goes, I
exactly.
took a lance through the shoulder once. Dude, shut the fuck up. Don't you compare your lance to the
It's a
shoulder.
medieval birth.
Medieval birth, exactly.
People died.
Oh, my
People
God.
died doing this. Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
my mom died doing this.
Get
you know
out
what
of
I mean?
here.
Fucking A, or her mom. I should say my mom. You know what I'm saying? But she's Lenore's kind of helping her through to the queen's chambers. She's struggling to get up the steps, but Lenore at one point asked if we should turn back. She'll come to us. She's like, not unless you're gonna carry me down these fucking
Yeah, already
steps.
like 3/4 of the way up. He's like, yeah, we'll turn around.
She's a gangster. But, they struggle. They end up finally getting up there. They're in the queen's chambers. And, of course, the Queen Alicent playing the role like always, trying to act all caring, like she didn't just summon this baby 2 seconds after being born. Like, oh, Rhaenyra, you shouldn't have come. Let me get you a seat. Here, sit down.
Give me a pillow. Fuck you.
The king, we see the king looking awful. Looking
like shit.
brutal.
Surprised he's still around.
No shit. I
Very
can't believe he made
surprised
the
he's still
jump.
around, yeah.
Losing all of his hair, though, getting real bald. Asked for the baby's name. Lenore, another douchey move, on top of already not being there and throwing in his stupid fucking wound to his shoulder. Just names the baby without even asking fucking his wife.
Rhaenyra.
Just like, we're naming it Joffrey.
Yeah, that fucked me up too.
Like,
Just going
bro,
with Joffrey. I'm like, whoa,
Dude.
hold on a second.
dude,
What's?
you're still upset about your lover? It was 10 years ago.
No, I know he was.
Get over it. You know
Oh.
what I mean? My God, still torn
He's
up.
not
about
the
that
only
guy.
one.
You ain't kidding, bro.
Yeah, Jesus.
You ain't kidding. This is salty episode.
Yeah,
a lot of salt in this
A
episode.
lot of salt and vinegar in this one.
But I was like very what the fuck there. I was like, yo, she just battled through this birth. You weren't even in the room, and you think you can just name this fucking thing? But then Allison gets her hands on the fucking baby, and fucking what does she do? Goes up to Lenore and goes, hey, keep trying. Maybe one day you'll get one that looks like you.
That got a chuckle out of me. I thought that was pretty funny.
It was a kill shot.
Yeah, that was
that
a
was
kill
a
shot.
kill shot. Turn
That
the gun
was-
sideways, kill shot, kill
Yeah.
shot.
That was,
Stuff to bounce back from that.
Tough.
That stuff.
yeah, I couldn't say anything.
But like you said, pretty funny. That was a good clean shot.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
Just such
Death
a good.
kill.
Yeah,
Death
exactly.
kill right there, right in the first blow. You know what I mean? But Rhaenyra and Lenore leave the room with their new babe. They're kind of heading on out. Rhaenyra's like, "What the fuck? You're not even gonna ask me about naming the baby or whatever." And then we see as they're trailing away that she is just literally leaking blood all the way from the queen's room down this hallway. as
Yeah.
they're just walking.
I think she says it too. I'm the only one bleeding.
True. Yeah, you're right. She
Yeah.
does say that. Yeah.
I didn't know what she was talking about, and then they take the corner, and I'm like, oh shit.
I didn't even think about that. That's a
Yeah.
great call, dude. I didn't. My brain never even fucking tied that together.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, and then I saw the blood. I was like, oh shit, she's
Literally-
she's literally walking around bleeding right
Yeah,
now all
yeah.
through the castle.
You ain't wrong. Good call. But what a gangster scene for right now. What a way to open it up, man. Jesus.
Love the other actor, this actress, or excuse me, the actress. This actress doing an excellent job too. I feel love
Yep.
the character. You know.
Yep. Definitely. No, like we said, seamless. The filming, it was. no problems at all with this time jump at all. Not from the actors, not from this understanding of the story. Everything they did this really well. It was
sort of like another little reset this week. Like, couple people have moved on. Like I know his chamber, his council, King's Council or whatever. I think a couple people have been shuffled out, but I feel like it was like a quick little reset. You kind of know what's going on. I feel like they just got right into the important stuff.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra's has two kids.
Here's the kids.
Exactly.
Here's the future.
Here's the kids. Yeah. This is, this is what we got going on.
That's actually where we go to right here. We go to Rhaenyra's chambers. We find out that she's got 2 other boys. So we got three lads. And it turns out all 3 of these kids got brown ass hair. They have brown hair. And who else is in the chamber along with Rhaenyra and Laenor but Sir Harwin Strong? Oh, shit.
Good for him.
Seems like we found out maybe where these kids are coming from. We were curious. I was curious. I was thinking maybe her and Cole made up or something like that.
I thought the same thing, too. I thought something had gone on because, he sees her. She's outside the queen's chambers, right? When she shows up.
Cole? Yeah. He just says princess. Like
he's just being a little... I don't know what he was doing, but
he's gonna pop off in a minute.
Yeah, he does go. But Viserys, when he takes the baby, I think they say it in the books about the Strong's nose. He says, "Oh, I think he's got his father's nose."
Yeah.
They're saying that about Laenor, but I think in the books the Strongs are known to have like a certain their nose or something.
Oh no,
it's like
shit.
what's supposed to be passing along. So I think they're doing a little nod to the books.
I gotcha. So we find out 3 boys. It seems like Sir Harwin Strong's the dad of all 3 of them because they look alike. They all, aside we don't know what the baby really looks like. We know he has brown hair, but the other 2 look identical.
Yeah.
He's commander of the City Watch now. He took up Damon's old job. He's in charge of the City Watch. And then we also see that they are bringing in a dragon egg for the baby, for the babes, which was cool. I love seeing the dragon eggs, especially just like reminds me of Daenerys all over again.
Yeah.
But it seems like we're going to have another little dragon rider. We go to the dragon pits. Cool scene. I liked this scene a lot. First time not the first time, but the first time in Hot Dragon, at least in House of the Dragon, that we got a baby dragon.
Yeah, a little
first
guy.
Time, since
little guy dragon wise.
Yeah, since Daenerys is 3, like in early on when they were first hatched and stuff.
Yep.
So it's been a while since we seen a little dragon. But Rhaenyra's oldest son, Jacaerys, he's kind of getting trained on how to command his dragon. He's got a dragon, Vermax. Cool name, good name.
Yep.
So he's a dragon rider. We find out right away. He's able to. They bring in a goat that he's able to basically give the.
It's always a goat. Jurassic Park.
Yeah, come on.
I thought that was kind of weird though. I'm like, this is how you train in like the dragon. Like, shouldn't the dragon kind of be learning how to?
You should be hunting for that goat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know what I mean? I get that with teaching it commands. So
it's
maybe
more
that's
about
how we got to
discipline
do it.
Now.
Yeah,
maybe. That's a good call.
Discipline
actually,
that
makes sense.
Once
Putting
you get
the treat
that
in front of his face, don't eat it yet.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
Exactly. That's the only thing I could think of.
I like that. That's good. But we see that Aemon and Aegon are also down there, and we see that Aemon is not a dragon rider. Or we find out basically because Aegon's kind of teasing him. Him and Rhaenyra's other son kind of poking fun at him. They say, "Hey, you're the only one without a dragon." So we went and we found you one of your own. And he's like, "Oh, really sick? Like, what is it?" And sure enough, they got him a fucking pig, and they dressed it up full blown, gave him the wings and everything. Talking some shit. Yep. So we see right away already that Aegon, now that he's grown up, we saw his birth in the first couple of episodes. He's already he's got the white hair, and he just right away kind of seems cunty.
Oh yeah,
right away, just kind of seems cunty.
He looks and acts like Daenerys' brother, wicked bad.
Yes, he does.
Like a twat.
I think that's kind of what they're almost that vibe. You know what I mean?
Looks like he'd be as a kid and acts like a twat.
Yep. But so we find out, like I said, Rhaenyra's 2 boys, or at least one of the oldest boy, he's got his dragon. Aegon's got a dragon. Aemon's without one. And he, after being teased, kind of lingers around in the pit for a minute by himself, and everybody else leaves. And then he decides to go deep down, goes diving into that pit, goes down, and basically stumbles across a mean dragon. I can't see exactly which one it is, but he just lets out a fucking roar, and he just hightails it the fuck out of it.
I didn't know what dragon that was or why he was like loose down there.
I think, well, like in this, that's where kind of like when they're not being ridden and shit, that's kind of where they like chill.
They're just chilling in the pits.
Yeah, they sleep in there, they eat in there and shit like that.
Okay.
It's like their fucking home, basically.
All right.
He's a big motherfucker.
He is.
Yeah.
Big
that shot was in the trailer a lot, too. I remembered seeing it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that from the trailer. Like, just that scene of him just like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Blowing the fire down
Yeah.
the yeah.
But it seems like, Aemon's definitely a little salty. A little salty that he doesn't have a dragon. He wants one of his own.
Yep.
He's gonna have to try to get one the hard way. Yeah. We go to Allison, and she's chilling with her daughter, who is a fucking weirdo. That was the only takeaway I had from like really her daughter. She doesn't do much in this episode, but she's playing with some little like pollywog looking tadpole thing, and she's just being weird about it. Yeah,
Helena.
Yeah. She's just being fucking weird though. She reminds me of like a kid from a horror movie who's like possessed or something. The whole scene.
Yeah.
But freaking Amon comes on in with one of the King's God, and the King's God kind of says, hey, he was down in the dragon pits again by himself, down too far where he shouldn't be. So apparently this is a regular thing. Allison kind of starts scolding him a little bit, but then he's like, dude, I was getting bullied. They gave me a pig, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Allison's like, all right, what the fuck? I'm going to the king. She kind of tells him what's going on. Like, the boys are bullying him again, yada, yada, yada. And then she's going to mention, kind of lets it slip. She's like, I don't even know how Rhaenyra's son's eggs ever like pop, basically.
Oh yeah, she says it's a.
She's like, I don't even know how they ended up basically coming out of their shell. Yeah, some of the eggs never pop, basically. They just stay.
She says like it's a wonder that the eggs ever hatched or something.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's exactly what she says. Yeah. And the king's kind of like, well, what the fuck you saying? You know what I mean?
Right.
And she kind of suggests like, well, like they're fucking not her.
They don't
like,
have blonde hair, blue eyed. They don't look.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, yo. She was sleeping around a little bit.
Losing your sight, too. Yeah. No arm, no fingers.
Dragon in the room here. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
The king ain't buying it, though. The king gives her a little story about some horses that he had back in the day. One was like silver hair.
Silver mare.
Yeah. He ain't having it. He's totally, he's backing his daughter, you know what I mean?
He just doesn't want to deal with any of that shit. He just wants to build that model city of Valeria and just hang out in his room,
Big model train set vibes from the king.
Does he not buy it, or is he just knows it and he's just like playing it off?
I think he's just in denial. I think it's because it's his daughter. Yeah, I think he loves her.
Like he knows it, and he's just like, at the end of the day, we're never going to admit it. But I know what you know what I mean.
Yep.
It just seems like he's this old and doesn't care anymore.
That too. I mean, he is fucking dying.
He just seemed like not a very.
He's just fed up with all this nonsense.
He's
fed up with all the bullshit throughout the years.
He's looking real frail now.
Oh, terrible now. Terrible.
Tells Allison, don't ever bring this up again. Don't ever bring this up again. I think she said that she mentioned that she already brought it up once and you didn't want to hear it that time either. So all right, that's it. 2 strikes, that's it. 3 strikes, you're out of here. Yeah. Allison is now kind of annoyed with the king, kind of blowing her off. She's gonna go with Cole, like we were kind of mentioning earlier. They're gonna go on a little walk. Allison's expressing her frustrations, and then Cole, acting like a salty bitch, just starts going on a tirade, just chewing out Rhaenyra, and then all the way at the end, calls her a cunt.
Yeah.
And it's like a record scratch moment even then. Allison's mad too, but all of a sudden she even kind of stops. She's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Too far.
Like, whoa. See, that's why first of all, I can't get a read on her because obviously, like, her and Rhaenyra have got the beef going on right now. But is it like she's still like he'll disrespect her like that and she'll like be like, all right, like you're going too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a little bit of mutual respect there. But yeah, Cole, I was a huge fan of him the first couple episodes, and then he just.
What a fall.
Talk about it. Yeah, another 180. Like
fell off worse than She-Hulk.
Oh man, he's I don't want to say he's like Jon Snow almost, but like that character.
He's a bit of a simp.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. He's a bit of a simp.
Kind of. I was like, oh my god, come on, man. Like
just salty.
Jon Snow had a little bit more balls.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been 10 years. Yeah. Let it go.
Now he's like a little just a snake now.
Go out there and get some strange ass. Go out there and get some strange ass.
Get some strange ass.
Like you're a good-looking young guy. Go out there and get some ass. Come on, man. I get it. Just get over it, brother. Come on.
No, he can't anymore because he's got wasn't that his big thing?
Technically, he can't. He's the king's god.
Yeah, but who the fuck follows the rules?
Actually, I don't even. No, they might not be even allowed to bang. I don't know.
I thought that's what his big thing was.
They're not allowed to take a wife. They're not allowed to take a family. Very much like the Night's Watch. No wife, no family. I don't know if their thing... Actually, remember like how Samwell brings up to Jon Snow? He's like, actually, the code never really says anything specific about having sex. He just says, no wife, no kids.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if the King's God's kind of a similar thing like that, or if it's straight up like, you ain't fucking either.
Right. Hey, I don't know.
From there, we go to one of the wildest scenes in Game of Thrones, which is why I think so many of us love it. It's definitely why I love it. But we go to a familiar arch window that we've seen, I think, before. I'm not sure if it's the same window or if it's maybe just all of the windows in this part of the keep look the same. But we open up, and Aegon friggin' is just bare-assed, ass-naked, standing out the window, just literally jerking off.
Snapping the carrot real quick out the window.
Looking like Roman Roy from Succession. Like that's what it reminded me of. Wicked Bad. If you've seen that.
Oh man, I haven't seen it, but
if this kid didn't seem like enough of a cunt in the dragon pit, he's literally coming on the people of Kingsland.
Yeah. I couldn't believe the scene, to be honest with you. Just like it
was a wild.
Yeah, it looked like the like you were saying, the same window that we've seen before, and then
Tom jumps out of.
Yeah,
looks almost exactly.
I thought that's what was going on, and then like it was like, all right, no, that's not what's going on at all here right now. Like shit, I think I would have rather had the other thing happen. Like, but
even if it wasn't the same window, just the way that they filmed it the same way was a great callback. Great subtle nod. Yep, it was really nice move. I thought that at least was pretty funny. But Allison comes in, interrupts him mid-session, doesn't even get to finish. But Allison is literally not even remotely fazed by what she just saw. Does not bat an eye. Like, this has got to be something that happens regularly. This kid's just an asshole. You can just tell. He's just a little
Game of Thrones world, and nothing is just, nothing's, I don't even know. Nothing's
out of the realm of
question.
possibility.
Yeah, nothing's out of the question.
That was a wild one. Yeah, it was a wild one. She calls him out, though, for basically, bullying his brother, her son, earlier on in the day, down in the dragon pits. He blames it on Rhaenyra's boys. And she's basically like, yo, like, if you want to, he calls him a twat, too, which I thought was kind of funny. But if you want to bully your brother, like, in privacy when we're just here, like, fine, whatever, I don't care. But, like, when we're in public, you have to, like, protect this name, our family,
right.
You know what I mean? He's got to be your brother. You got no bullying him in front of the other kids and shit. And then she kind of starts giving him his first teaching lessons, which I don't know why she waited this long, because if he maybe started teaching him earlier, he wouldn't be such a twat that he is.
He wouldn't be jacking off out.
Yeah, shit.
From the 60th floor. Like, Jesus Christ.
From downtown, yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Like, you gotta think some people are looking up in the sky
kidding,
to check
dude.
out the sun. Just see
yeah, no shit. 13-year-old kid just
my God.
finding his puberty. But she's kind of saying, hey, listen, like, Rhaenyra's going to be ruling soon, and when that happens, you're going to be a threat. And he goes, like, you can tell he has, like, no interest in the whole Game of Thrones. Like, the political game, like, the family he was born into, doesn't really seem to interest him. Like, he just wants to kind of fuck around.
Or he doesn't get it.
He might not get it, you know what I mean? He just kind of seems like, I don't really fucking care. He's like, all right, I won't challenge her then. And she's like, you don't get it, you idiot. You're going to be the challenge. Your existence is the challenge. So basically kind of teaching him up, trying to get him ready for eventually, a possible takeover of Air, you know what I mean? First little teaching lesson we see for Aegon. But like I said, is it already too little too late? Because this kid already seems like Viserys or Joffrey mixed, you know what I mean? This kid seems like an asshole.
Yeah, he's a little cooked. How old was Tommen when he took over? He was pretty young.
I think in the books it's like 12, so probably around 12.
Yeah, it's
something
probably
like
the same
12,
in the show, I guess, I would assume.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of when what's his name started teaching him.
Tywin
Lannister.
Yeah, that's when he got his hands on him at first.
Yeah.
Which just even to think about that, like we're talking Game of Thrones, like he was like 13 maybe when he took the throne, and Lady Marjorie came in no time. She's like, let me get that 13-year-old cock.
Yeah. They love it. Game of Thrones, 9 o'clock on Sundays. You got to flip the switch.
And the funniest thing always is to think the guy that wrote this is just, don't get me wrong, thank you, George, but just this big fucking slob of a human being just sitting there
like laughing to himself while he writes it. Like the belly
finger in the belly button.
Yeah.
Just like, that's the good stuff right there. And she's going to bang his niece. It's always so fucked up to think about. But from there, we're going to go to a pretty cool little scene. We're going to go to Daemon and his new wife. They were flirting a little bit at the end of the wedding there, or the beginning of the wedding.
Coming a little there.
It seems that Daemon is now married the Lady Laena from House Velaryon. And it turns out, Lukey didn't want to spoil it for us. Good on him last week. I was like, Laena's not a dragon rider, huh? And he's like, no, not yet. Or he didn't say not yet. He just said no. Turns out he knew already, not yet. She eventually is going to become one. Sure enough, she's got a dragon of her own now. She's riding the dragons. They're flying over. We don't know where it is yet.
Vhagar, too. Yeah, the big one. I looked that up today. I was trying to, because I think they were saying it's the biggest one out there. And
the biggest one left.
It's the one that she asked
left
about.
That's from Old Valeria.
Yeah, it's the one she asked about at the in the first or second episode when her and Viserys. Yeah. So
good little foreshadow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Bring him in.
Yep. But like I said, cool scene. Definitely always looks sick when they're just flying around. They were having some fun, basically. She does a little Dracarys of her own, basically, as she's in front of Daemon, and Daemon just flies right through the fire, completely unburnt. Pretty cool little scene.
Yep.
It turns out that they are in Pentos, which is actually where the Targaryen story starts for us in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
That's where Daenerys and Viserys are chilling. They're in Pentos.
Yep.
That's where they are. They have 2 daughters, it turns out. One of them is a dragon rider as well, we see. And it turns out that the people of Pentos that are, treating them as guests are offering them a permanent stay. They can be treated basically like royalty forever.
Right.
All that they ask in return is that it turns out the Triarchy is still, even though they lost in the Stepstones, the Triarchy 10 years later is still out and about. And basically they say, if the Triarchy comes here for Pentos, we need your dragons to help defend us.
Right.
And Daemon's like, hey, that sounds like not a bad little deal. We'll consider it.
Yeah.
And Lena's like, what? We'll consider it. Like, kind of annoyed by the whole thing. Interesting. In Pentos, like I said, I like that, we'll call back, like I said, to Game of Thrones, to where the Targaryen story started.
Yeah, exactly. A little callback. Like you said, a little give and take. Daemon's got the dragons. We'll treat you like a king, but you got to get our back when shit hits the fan. But I feel like Daemon is just, like Lady Lena says it, like that's not him. He doesn't want to just sit around and be fed grapes, basically, and live a lavish life, so...
Yep. He wants all the glitz and the glamour. He wants the battles, the throne, all the stories. He wants the songs about it.
Exactly.
He wants to live a life worth telling about.
Right.
But like I said, it seems like Lena's a little annoyed. It seems like she's kind of ready to hit the road and get back to Westeros. We go to the training ground. Cool little scene. We're back in King's Landing. We see Cole is in the training ground. He's training up Alicent's kids. Rhaenyra's kids are there too. He's just completely ignoring them. Just like working with Aegon and Aemon, ignoring the 2 boys of Rhaenyra's. Sir Harwin kind of just calls him out on that. Not even in a rude way either, not even like aggressively, not like in a dickish fashion.
Nope.
Just literally like, hey, I think all of the kids in the ground could use your expertise. Literally like, just like that pretty much. And sure enough, Cole being just the cunt that he is, he's like, all right, sure, let's fucking treat everyone the same, all right. Gets the 2 eldest boys, even though they're not like the same age. Aegon's clearly older. He's clearly bigger. He's clearly the better fighter. He's more experienced.
Way more skilled.
You put Aegon up against Jacaerys. And Sir Harwin even says as much. Like, does that really seem fair? And Cole fucking cunt to him again. He's just like, well, you've never seen real battle experience, but you would know if you did that it's not always an even battle. You know what I mean?
He is right, but he's definitely...
He's so sorry. If you're going to be like this, like, just go to the wall or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just go on the Night's Watch or something. Like, live the rest of your life. Get out of here.
I love that. You're going to be a little salty bitch, go to the wall.
Drag everybody else down with you.
But Aegon and Jacaerys have a little battle, and Aegon gets the better of him at first. Like we said, the more experienced kid, he's older, bigger.
Yep.
But then fucking Jacaerys, he shows that he's got a little bit of that rage in him. He can kind of let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
Gets up, starts fucking coming at him hard. Next thing you know, Aegon pulls a little fast one, throws a dummy on him, has to pull a little evasive maneuver to basically get out of the way. So it seems like a pretty even fight.
Aegon was fighting dirty.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, but it's all right. It's a street fight.
Yeah. Then he kind of he gets the last laugh, sort of. He gets Jacaerys down, and he kind of looks over like, all right, I did my job, I won. And then Kristen Cole's like, keep him on the fucking ground, keep attacking. So he kind of just keeps hammering him until Sir Harwin finally comes and puts his hands on the prince. Moves friggin' Aegon and is like, yo, come on, Cole, is this what you're fucking teaching?
Right.
What does Cole do? He goes, well, that's kind of weird that you would defend someone like that. That's what someone would do if it was like their brother or their father or their son.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good move. I don't know.
Hey, he worked.
Oh, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
I think he was just looking to get a reaction.
Yep.
Basically just confirming what was going on, He's been scheming with Allison.
What does Sir Harwin do? Fucking just lights him up, starts fucking hitting him.
Shit, yeah.
And like you said, fucking Cole sits there like the fucking Joker, basically, dude, from Batman. Just like, yeah, come on and hit me.
Yeah, he knew.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me. Doesn't even fight back at all, just takes it. He's just like, yeah, that's what I thought. Like, I knew it. Everybody knew it, but that's proof right there. You know what I mean? So now he's putting hands on the King's Guard and on the Prince. Bad move by Sir Harwin.
Yeah, just expose his hand, like you said. Just basically confirming what it is in front of the king and the hand, his dad,
Yeah.
So,
but to be honest, though, if hypothetically speaking, let's say that it was actually a lie. Let's say Sir Harwin wasn't actually the dad of those kids, right? If someone says that, you still kind of have to react sort of in that same way. that is like a colossal fucking accusation. That's like,
that's
death, exile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's treason.
Exactly,
yeah, it's treason.
So
High
like.
treason.
The lose-lose situation.
Right. So for him, like I said, hypothetically, we know it is true. But even if it wasn't, he's probably going to react kind of in a similar way.
No, I agree.
I don't think he's going to just like laugh it off, like, "Oh yeah, I'm their fucking dad." Real good joke, Cole.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I don't like.
Good one. Yeah, good one.
Yeah, right. I think no matter what, you kind of gotta.
Yeah, you gotta have some sort of reaction there.
Right,
yeah.
because like I said, that's death. That's exile. Not for you, for the kids, for Raynar, the whole thing. You know what I mean? We go to Raynar and Lenore. Raynar is friggin' kind of just dealing with the post-birth pain. She's still hurting a bit, you know what I mean? And Lenore shows up. He's fucking singing the high heavens with his new drinking buddy, his new battle buddy. I'm assuming his new butt buddy. But basically, fucking Raynar is like, all right, get your new friend out of here. We got to have a conversation. Leno's all excited because war is re-rising in the steps.
He does crack me up, though. Just comes in all happy. Just
yeah.
Like, hey, what's up? She's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
just
no
down
shit.
at the pub. He's just, just down at the pub.
She's sitting here just like exhausted, sweating in pain, and she's just having a fucking ball.
He's just drinking beer, sharing war stories.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to get back out there, dust off my old shield.
Yeah. Reminds me of Jamie a little bit in that sense, where I'm just like, oh, there's a battle coming. Like, I can finally go do what I'm meant to go do again. You know what I mean? I can't wait to get out there on the seas.
Yep.
Raynar made a good line here. She's like, where have you been? What are you out there? Guzzling all the drinks and guzzling whatever else. I was just like, oh, that's a good one. Kill shot. That's a kill shot.
He's been taking shots all episode.
Yeah. But Raynar is like basically
Different
like,
shots again.
Yeah, exactly.
I see what you did there.
Yes.
Raynar like, bro, you joking? She's like, dude, people are questioning the lineage of your children. You ain't fucking leaving to go fucking battle on the fucking stepstones. You know what I mean? Renar's like, bro, what are you talking about? I've been playing my role for 10 years. You know what I mean? She's like, dude, you've been playing your role. You've been having a good time.
Right.
You've been fucking drinking the best wines. You've been living in the nicest beds. You've been fucking the best boys in town. You've been having a fucking thrill, just like we agreed upon.
Right.
But
for 10 years, too, like, that's a good amount of time to be
you've
living
been
that
living
up
a
like
good
that.
life.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I gotta get back out there. She's like, no, when things are going bad, you gotta stay right here. He's like, nah, dude. When the good sailor, when the seas stop, rising, it's time to get out of here before the storm comes.
Right.
And then she drops the C word. I command you to stay here as princess and heir to the Iron Throne. I command you. And Lenore, he's a knight.
Bends the knee.
Yeah, he's a knight. Damn right.
Bends the knee right there.
Yep. Not happy about it, but he's just like, all right, fuck. If that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Duty calls.
Then we go to Lena. Lena and her daughter, which I looked. Her daughter's two names. You have Lena, and then you have Raina, and what is the other one? Belena.
Yeah,
For the love of God.
My God. How big of an asshole can you be Jesus.
No, the name's getting tough for me right now.
Imagine living in that house trying to call one of them. Every one of them's going to be like, huh? Wow, what's going on? But we find out that the youngest daughter, is that going to do that thing? Yeah, I got it. Let's do it. Yes. Yeah, no. Quick intermission. This will be the next thing we'll have to teach him. This is where Los has just started learning his new NASCAR fucking test pilot thing. Oh shit, it was everywhere. Check that back, good. Still good. Wow.
I don't even know what happened.
See that? Ah, shit! Ugh. Back and better than ever. Los get fucking, did you see it? The last two times, he's done like a fucking NASCAR pit crew.
Yeah, I did see him the last time.
Pretty funny. Pretty funny. Oh, I'm looking forward to fucking doing Andor on Thursday too, buddy.
Yeah, I got to see the third one still, but I did do the first two.
Oh, did you?
It's very good, yeah.
I still have to dive into all three. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I'm going to be diving into all three.
I got to rewatch just to get,
Yeah.
get the notes down and all that, but
Always good to do a rewatch.
yeah, it's been good so far.
Actually, no one will let me do that. Go on in, sir. All right. And we are back. So like I was saying, Lena's talking to her youngest daughter, and we find out that her egg has not hatched. The oldest daughter, her egg hatched. We have a new rider in the family, along with Lena, who now claimed her dragon like we saw. But the youngest daughter still doesn't have hers. Her egg hasn't hatched. Lena basically explains that happens sometimes. But just because your egg didn't hatch, that doesn't mean that this is the end-all, be-all. For instance, look at me. I didn't have a dragon growing up. And then at 15 years old, I claimed Vega. So
biggest dragon in the middle. I almost said Middle Earth. Jesus Christ, Westeros.
I mean, it probably would be.
Yeah, probably would be. But kind of already, I would say a little bit of maybe a little foreshadowing, kind of sprinkling in right there that maybe she's gonna have to claim a dragon of her own the old-fashioned way, just like her mother did, rather than having one just basically gifted to her.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then she's gonna go. Lena's gonna leave. She's gonna go talk to Daemon now, and she's gonna kind of. First, she tells him about Rhaenyra. Hey, your niece just had another kid. He right away goes, did your brother happen to mention if it strikes an odd resemblance to the new commander of the King's Guard? Or the new commander of the City Watch, I'm sorry. Yeah. And she's like, no, he didn't. He failed to mention that, Papa. Good call. Yeah. She likes it. She's got a little smirk on. She's like, good one. Being married to David must have been a pretty good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Probably pretty fun. But she kind of says, listen, I don't want to spend my days here. She's like, you don't want to spend your days here. You're built for more. I want to go back to my family. I miss my family. I think you miss your family too. Daemon's like, I don't miss anything but the strong wine. That's it. I don't miss a damn thing. And then she's going to kind of mention, like I said, she misses her family. She wants to go back home, and she doesn't want to die here. She wants to die in her home. She wants to give birth. She's pregnant. She's her third kid. She wants to give birth to her third kid at home with her family. And eventually, when the day comes, she wants to die a dragon rider's death in battle on Dragonback, the way that it was meant to be.
Yep.
They're meant for more than this, you know what I mean? She kind of just leaves Daemon with that, kind of to think about it. Because he kind of likes it. He seems like he's like, we have it good here. He's like, we're here as guests. We've been offered permanent guestship, which means we're free of all the responsibilities and the politics and the garbage that we have to deal with at Westeros.
Right.
We don't got to deal with any of that shit. We can just kind of be here, chill, drink wine, eat grapes, fucking go into the city, have a good life. You know what I mean? She wants more.
I mean, I don't blame her, Yeah. I understand where he's coming from, but like you said, they're guests there, sort of strangers there. It's only them and their dragons and the two kids, or to be three. But, I don't know. I'd probably want to be out, too.
Yeah. Obviously, her family, she's got a big family, you know what I mean? No. They're all still kicking around. She probably wants to meet them, you know what I mean? Her kids, I'm sure she would like her kids to be chilling with her brother's kids, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though they're not technically his kids, but you know what I'm saying. We go to we're gonna be wrapping up anyways. So we go to the High Council meeting, and this is a nice little, like we said in the title, Queen versus Princess. Alicent and Rhaenyra are just gonna battle on every single topic. There's some issues going on up in the north, you know what I mean, between all those houses, Glovers, Blackwoods, Blackfires. They're having some issues. Alicent's like, just let them be. They'll figure it out. Rhaenyra's like, listen, they've been at war for forever. We got to go and do something about it. She's annoyed. Then they mention the Stepstones is still going on. 10 years later, this problem's still coming up. You know what I mean? Rhaenyra kind of blames them. She's like, well, we didn't send any troops or any ships or anything to claim the land. What the fuck do you guys think was going to happen?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't this go back to the king, too? Like I said, like how bad he was. Just like, if you would have squashed this 10 years ago, this wouldn't be an issue right now.
And he's annoyed by it, too, Seth. He's like, oh, we're still dealing with this 10 years later. It's like, we're dealing with it because of you.
Yeah, right. It's your fault.
No, someone hasn't taken care of that for me.
You're the fucking king. Like, what are you talking about?
And your brother did. His brother did. His brother took care of it. He never did anything to keep, maintained down there. So
that's very, very true. And then it makes it seem like they were kind of settling up this meeting. All right, we're all out of here. And then Rhaenyra's like, hang on, everybody. Let's all sit down. I want to talk to you guys for a second. She apologizes to Alicent. She says, hey, I know our families have been having a lot of problems. We've been at strife lately. I want to apologize on behalf of my family for any of that animosity that we caused that's from our behalf. She goes, we're family. Let's rule together. My son, Jacaerys, is in line to be heir after me. Let's wed him to your daughter, Helena. They can rule together. Our families can rule together.
Good proposal.
Hell yeah. The king fucking loves it. Rhaenyra actually even doubles down. She says that if the dragon gives birth to any more eggs, that they can have their pick of the litter for Prince Aemon.
Yeah.
So Aemon, who's dragonless, like we saw earlier, he can get a dragon, which is a great offer. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
The king loves it. The king, kind of like the dopey idiot, he's like, "This is great. Yes, let's keep marrying our family to each other. This is lovely. I love
doesn't
it."
want to deal.
That'll
with
fix
it.
everything.
Yeah.
And then Allison uses poor Rhaenyra, her lactating breast just leaking all over the High Council meeting. And Allison's like, "All right, this is a good time for me to get up and get out of here, but we'll consider your offer. Thank you." And she goes with the king. They kind of go to their little chamber or whatever. And she kind of is like, isn't it funny how these offers start coming when she's desperate? You know what I mean?
Right.
And the king's like, "This is a good deal. Like, let's put an end to this fucking squabbling. You know what I mean? Like, let's settle this shit."
It's not wrong either,
No, for real.
Ends everything right there.
Yep.
Everything's taken care of.
Yep. But they get interrupted. They get interrupted by Mr. Lord Strong, the Hand of the King, the new Hand of the King that we've seen. He's been handing out for 10 years. And he looks a little stressed out, too, after this 10-year jump. He's lost some hair himself. He's quite bald now compared to when the last time we saw him. But he comes in and he says that he needs to step down as Hand of the King. He says that there's a shadow over his family, that Sir Harwin has just, with the beatdown of Sir Cole, has just caused, a black mark on the family. He can't be truly honorable and do his job the right way. He's got to step down.
Can't give unbiased opinions, basically what he says.
Right. The king's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "You're the only guy who's actually been a stand-up dude that's actually given me good shit.
Yep.
You've been serving me well for 10 years. Like, why? What black mark? Like, wants it plain. Tell me it. Say it to my face."
You know it.
And Lord Strong can't do it. He's like, "No. Nope." Which we know Otto would have. Otto definitely would have. What's what got his ass tossed out to begin with was telling the hard truth. You know what I mean? Sir Strong ain't about that. He ain't going to get, strung up for treachery or anything like that.
Right.
He's like, "Nah, I ain't about it." So the king's like, "Fine. If you can't tell me what it is, then I don't accept it. You're still my hand." So Strong's like, "All right, fine." He's like, "At least let me bring my son back to
Harrenhal.
Harrenhal." Thank you.
Yep.
To Harrenhal. He's the heir of Harrenhal. He's gone now. He's been exiled. He's done out the city. He's kicked out of the city watch. I'm going to go at least bring him home. The king says, "All right. That we can do." You know what I mean? That I can allow, I guess. So still the Hand, you know what I mean? He's heading out. He's going to be taking his son home. We go to Allison and Mr. Skeesball, the Clubfoot. Laris. They're having a little meal. Allison tells Clubfoot that his father tried basically to resign, tells him exactly what happened, and says that, the king said, "No, you ain't happening that way." And she mentions that, Otto would have, exactly like I said, would have told the king the hard truth. And the guy, Laris, kind of goes, "Yeah, he would have been impartial too, though." She's like, "Yeah, but he would have been impartial to me."
Right.
First kind of real sign that we're seeing that Allison's now playing for herself. Like, she's got her own team, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which I thought was interesting. I was like, okay, you're starting to learn. You're starting to play the game now, man. You get it.
She's definitely playing it now.
Big time,
yeah. 10-year jump, I think.
Big time. That was an interesting line to me just because it was the first real, like, all right, she's a force now. She's starting to get it. But she asks, in all of King's Landing, is there anyone that's, truly there to take her side? And that's when that scene kind of ends. But, the Clubfoot's going to be up to something. Sure enough, we stay with him. The Clubfoot goes down to the prisons of King's Landing, finds a couple of real shitheads, a murderer, a couple of other people. They're all they're all like going to be on death row, basically. They're all sentenced to death. And he goes, "Hey, I'll give you guys a chance at mercy. You just got to do a little job for me." And they're like, "All right, you know what I mean? Sure." We don't see what the deed's going to be, but we do see Clubfoot takes all of their fucking tongues.
Yeah, that was tough. That was another tough one for him.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Whatever the deed's going to be that they're going to be sent on, they're not going to be able to talk about it afterwards.
Yep.
Just like you're on.
It's a pretty significant step to ensure that doesn't happen.
That's right, baby. Best way to make sure no one can fucking double cross.
I hate Clubfoot, but he's a good move. I gotta respect the his scheming is pretty top notch for sure.
More body part dismemberments than Game of House of the Dragon. Saw some tongues just whoosh, just like butter, just like.
Oh yeah, at least they heated the knife up before,
Yeah, they're gonna be his new soldiers. They wanted to do it as effortlessly and painlessly as possible. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Take their tongues in the best way. So we'll have to see what they're gonna be up to for this deed to gain their mercy. We go to Pentos, back to Pentos, and we see that Lena is on the birthing bed. She's giving birth. Unlike Laenor, he couldn't be there to watch Daemon. He's staying with his girl. He's in the room. He's there to be supportive. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, he finds himself in the exact same predicament that King Viserys, his brother, found himself in episode 1. The baby just will not come out, no matter what the Maces are doing. And basically, it comes down to, what can we do? Can we save the baby? We can't save her. We got to make a decision. And Daemon doesn't make the decision yet. We don't see him make the decision. We do see that Laena, though, unlike the king's wife, is kind of paying attention to this conversation. It seems like she almost kind of overhears.
Yeah, it seems like she noticed what they were talking about.
Right, like a possible C-section, like that's going to be the end for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she knows.
So it turns out she kind of, we don't see it, but it seems like she somehow sneaked out of the bed, kind of got away from all of the handmaids there, got away from Daemon. She went down to her dragon, to Vhagar. And she did exactly like she said she wanted to do. She wanted to die a dragon rider's death. She fucking power walked through, which I'm sure that must have been painful, just like Rhaenyra at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you know what I mean?
Both of them, badass scenes.
Fucking seriously. Ends up having to ask a bunch of times, begging Vhagar kind of to Dracarys me.
Yeah, you know it seems like he knew, you know, you could tell that he's like, I don't want to. You know? But I think he can tell that she's also in a shit ton of pain. So,
so now he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Yeah. And like we mentioned, Laena sprinkled the little tidbits to her daughter that she might have to claim a dragon herself. We know that Laena didn't have Vhagar all the way. She claimed Vhagar.
Yep.
Like you just said, Seth, Vhagar's on the market now. So
a little bit of karma, too, for Daemon, even though I'm a huge fan of him. You know, kind of talk shit about the king for a day, and then he's basically faced with the exact same situation: lose my kid or my wife. So,
ends up losing both, just like the king did.
Yeah,
ends up losing both.
Yeah,
the Vhagar ends up burning her up and shit.
I think it snaps him back a little bit.
Back
to reality.
He certainly did not. I don't think he signed up to have himself be the father of two, single father of two daughters.
Yeah,
now that's the hand he's got. You
definitely
know what I mean?
Definitely not.
Tough. Doesn't seem like the type to fit the role either.
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to be looking for some help real quick. You know what I mean?
100%.
From there we go to Sir Harwin. Sir Harwin Strong. He is heading to Harrenhal, like we found out. So he is going to go say bye. He's going to go say bye to Rhaenyra. Another cold goodbye, like we've mentioned, no real goodbyes in the show, and also because they're not technically supposed to be together or anything like that, they can't really have that goodbye. But you can tell he's saying goodbye to the boys, too. You know, it's very sentimental. The boys look sad.
Yeah.
You can tell they spent a lot of time together in this 10-year skip.
At first, I thought they knew that he was their dad for a reason, because he's kind of like giving him he's got him under the chin, like, you know, chin up, and I'm like, oh, do they like know that this is their dad? And then, you know, obviously.
Well, Sir Harwin, says goodbye. He leaves, and then Jacaerys follows him out, and he even asks. He asks Rhaenyra. He goes, "Is Sir Harwin my dad? Am I a bastard?"
Right.
And she says, "You're a Targaryen. That's all that matters."
Right.
Which is fucking true. That
which is translation to yes.
Yeah. True. Very, very true.
Telling you without telling you.
Very, very true. But it seemed like Sir Harwin was a pretty good dad. It seemed like, because obviously we saw the training scene. He was taking care of the boys, and now the boys look pretty sad to see him go. You know what I mean? So he's probably being a pretty good dude. But then we find out Rhaenyra, after saying goodbye to her lover, her boy, she's going to go down to her husband, Laenor. He's in the training grounds fighting with his new pal, Carl with a Q. I love the subtitles. Carl with a Q.
Is it Carl with a Q?
Carl with a Q, yeah.
All right.
Total asshole move. total asshole move. Carl with a Q. But she says, "Hey, Laenor, my hubby's out of here. My real hubby, he's out of here. I've been made a joke of. Basically, they're all laughing at me behind my back at court and shit like that."
Yeah, it says that she's been like leaking it, basically. Allison's been leaking it into the city.
Yep. Spreading rumors and shit like that. It's time for us to get the fuck out of here, too. We're going to Dragonstone. And Laenor's like, "What the fuck? I can't go to fight on the Stepstones and I have to leave." But she's like, "You know what? Bring Carl the Q.
Yeah, bring
Carl
the
the Q can come."
I like that, though,
Yeah, and he liked it too. He right away was like, "Oh yay, yippee, okay."
Like, keep him happy.
It's not all
like
bad.
She said, we're gonna need as many swords as we can get. So obviously we know something's coming up, So
yep. And also, I think that, like she mentioned earlier, she's kept her agreement to him that they had, because they were from the beginning, from the jump, they were together in this.
Right.
Neither of them were their first options.
Correct.
They both have their own tastes, their own dishes that they like to dine on.
Right.
So let's just get married for the sake of our families, to do our duty, and let's live our lives the way we want to. She's kept up that part of the deal this whole time. she knows he wants to leave, so she's like, all right, I know you're upset a little bit. Keep your new play toy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
will say though that the Lady Raynor's death opens the door for some incest, which I was pulling for heavily.
It sure does.
We're
it
back.
Sure does. And where's she heading? To Dragonstone.
We're back, baby.
And like
Let's
you mentioned,
go.
we know that he's going to be trying to get back. You know, he's not going to be staying in Pentos now with 2 girls by himself.
Right, exactly.
So, might be heading to Dragonstone himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the family can be back together now. You know what I mean? Leno's got a niece.
I thought the dream had died a couple episodes ago. I was like,
nah,
shit.
the dream's alive and well. It's alive
right.
and well. And then we go to our closing scene. A pretty wild little closing scene here. We have Clubfoot. He's giving a little monologue. And we see that Lord Strong and Sir Harwin have made it to Harrenhal. But as soon as they pretty much do, they're going to get murdered. That's the deed that he hired these guys for. He took their tongues so that he could never be blamed for it, basically. Great move, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And murders his own father and his own brother. Fucking brutal.
Ruthless.
We also see a couple other glimpses of things. Rhaenyra actually does arrive at Dragonstone. They all kind of look up at it, which is a cool little thing. The king, they show the king. He looks worse than he's looked yet. He's like so grossly pale and sick as shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Did they ever tell us what's going on with him?
It's just like, I would imagine it's like a skin, like a massive
Like
skin
leprosy
disease.
or something?
Like, yeah. Actually, I couldn't think of the name of it, but that's in my head exactly what I was thinking of.
That's
yes.
because they never really say it. I don't think it's grayscale. Yeah,
No.
Skin's flaking.
Because obviously he's like, it's not grayscale for tons of reasons, mainly being he's been touching people like crazy. He's
that's
babies
true.
and
That's
stuff.
true. Right.
Him and Rhaenyra kissed on the, like, actually it seemed like him and Rhaenyra definitely have gotten closer in this 10-year window. They've seen more, like she gives him a kiss on the cheek and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems like, I think Rhaenyra, like Allison's saying, Rhaenyra's kind of cornered, so she needs as much influence with the king as possible.
You might be right. But we see that Clubfoot is basically doing this whole little monologue to Allison. He's telling her the little deed that he's done. And Allison's like, bro, what the hell? I didn't tell you to fucking do that. I didn't tell you to kill your brother and your dad.
She's horrified.
Yeah, and he's like, you might not have told me, but you told me. And he's like, don't worry about it. When the time comes, I'm sure you'll reward me. And it's just like, this motherfucker. Peter Baelish, Littlefinger 2.0, for real.
Scheming. Oh, maybe more ruthless, though. Like,
I was going to say, definitely more ruthless.
Killed the dad and the brother, burned them, too.
Yeah.
Cutting tongues out to solidify that it's not going back to him.
He burned Harrenhal, right? The castle. So, like, that whole castle is burned up.
That's it,
so
Harrenhal is already, that's what, like, turned it into the ghost town it was that Aegon straight up lit it up. That's why it looks all
beat up.
Okay. And stuff is because Aegon straight up lit it up.
Like I said, I don't like Clubfoot at all, but you gotta tip your cap to the ruthlessness.
Man.
I was
and
like,
he just
Jesus.
put himself in a position now. He's Allison's fucking right-hand man. Because now
he's like cornered her in, kind of.
Exactly. I was just gonna say now he's got almost kind of like blackmail on her. He's like, I fucking killed Sir Strong, the hand of the king for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He also mentions, hey, you're gonna call your father now. So we got a good shot that Otto's gonna be back into the fold. We saw as much as in the preview for next week. So Otto's back.
Yeah. So he's doing her a big favor, but
definitely took care of the hand. You know what I mean?
Bringing
took care
some
of Sir
backup
Strong.
for her.
Yeah, like you said though, now the door is real open for Rhaenyra and Daemon. You know what I mean?
I'm all in. I'm all in on that.
The door is wide open. He's gonna bring Laenor his 2 nieces, so I'm sure he'll be happy about that. They're gonna be able to meet Rhaenyra's 2 kids. It seems like the door is open.
Yeah, it should be a good one next week. I mean, the previews look good.
The preview looks like shit was about to pop off, man. Shit looks like it's about to pop off. But strong episode overall, I would say.
Definitely I'd say so too. Probably one of my, like you said, sort of setting it up for the big battle coming up. You know, one of my more likable episodes. You know that I
would say it was definitely toward the top for me as well.
Yeah,
very this was the definition of a Thronesy episode. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
from a friggin' jerking off out of windows to fucking
jerking off out of windows.
You had to do that kind of episode with the 10-year jump too. You know, you can't just go right into the action and all that. Like you got to set up the pieces with
it was
all these
like
added new characters,
like a reset almost, like another pilot, like midway through the season where it was like, all right, like this is what's happened, this is where everybody's at right now, this is sort of the chessboard and where we're at, and this is where we're going from here. So,
big episode for Allison. I would say she had a real strong episode this one. She's shown that in this 10-year jump, she really stepped her game up. She learned to play the game. She's starting to get her own soldiers in line. She's starting to kind of give the orders and stuff now.
I think that wedding the wedding changed her.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say.
It seems like the wedding kind of woke
It's
her
like
up
that
a
was her
little bit.
first sort of like her starting to show like she's coming into her own, and then you take the 10-year jump, and it's like, all right, she has come into her
She'll just
own.
be getting smarter
think-
and wiser.
Yeah.
Next 10
I
years.
think a big thing too was the fact that her belief in Raynara telling her the truth and her belief in that friendship directly led to her father basically being escorted out and kind of lost his job, kind of got black marks on his name sort of from that. And it's all because her friend lied, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that kind of really fucking grinds her gears, you know what I mean?
think that
she was made to look like the fool for believing her.
Right, yeah, drove a wedge in between her and Allison, or her and Raynara a little bit, and then in doing that, believing her friend, she also, like you said, loses her biggest ally in her father, probably her biggest protector too,
right?
Because he's, he would have been impartial to her. So yeah, I definitely think you're right on that.
Yeah. Doors open for him to come back in now, like you said. Definitely going to see him coming in. She's obviously, Cole is a very loyal follower now. She's got him in his pocket. She's got the club foot. She's starting to develop some pieces here.
Yeah.
Problem is her kids suck. Her daughter's a fucking weirdo. Amon doesn't have an egg, and Aegon's an asshole.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode, right? Anything else on that?
Yeah, no good. I mean, it's 2 out of the 3, like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. They got some serious. I mean, House of the Dragon. They have some serious steam right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like they're both on the same path. Where the next couple episodes are about to
It seems like they're like lining up time-wise.
Yeah, right. And they're side by side, and like I said, there's one.
And so what do we got? I don't know how many we got of game. Excuse me.
This was 6. We have 7, 8, 9, and 10. So
4
and then 3 for Rings of Power.
Okay. All right.
4 and 3. We're coming to an end here, man. We're coming to an end. And when that happens, boy, this podcast is going to look very, very different when we're not, recapping 3 shows a week. We're going to have a lot more time to kind of let our hair down and
open
fuck around
forum.
Yeah. Have you in to talk fucking Batman, something dumb like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll bring Rogers.
Yeah, we'll
back
be
in.
here.
Yeah, Rogers will be here. All right? He'll be
Don't worry
producing.
about us. We'll be in our bat caves.
But that's going to be wrapping it up for us today for our episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. As always, please, please, please share this around. Tell all your friends. Tell your family. Anybody who's into this kind of stuff, share it around, because the only way this show is going to keep getting bigger is with more eyeballs, and that's where I need your guys' help. So please share, subscribe to the channels, leave a review, leave a comment, show some love. All that stuff really means a lot. It helps. Thank you to Mr. Seth for filling in on the 1s and 2s today. Did a great job, sir. Yep. First real show on the 1s and 2s. The Cobra Kai was a little easier than this, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I didn't. I was trying not to listen to because now I'm watching Cobra Kai, and that's why I didn't want to produce to the last one. I'm actually into the show now, so
love to hear that.
Trying not to listen
never mad
to
to
it.
hear someone's in the Cobra Kai.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good being here.
Yeah, good to have you. Couldn't have done it without you. And then to Mr. Ledoux, thank you for coming back,
Appreciate
having you
boys
again.
having me on. Yep.
Awesome
Smash that
time.
like button, hit subscribe, baby. You
That's
know the
right.
deal.
And we'll have you back in the future, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'd love to.
Yes. Awesome. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for us today, guys. Happy watching, and we'll see you soon.